Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is sponsored by the Pittsburgh Brewing Company. It's a Berg thing. By Mellon Bank. You're why we do our very best. By Chrysler Plymouth. Get the advantage. See your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer now. By Pepsi-Cola. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguin. Pepsi, the taste you gotta have. By Giant Eagle, where there's a lot you can feel good about. By Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. And by Ladbroke at the Meadows, another big league sport in town. Exit 8 off I-79. Be there and be a winner.
From the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings. Hello again, everybody. I'm Paul Steigerwald. Mike Lang will be along shortly. Mike right now is down on the ice. He's going to be doing a special presentation tonight for the charter members of the Penguins Hall of Fame. They were inducted today at a special luncheon in the Igloo Club, and Mike is going to present them on the ice here tonight at the beginning of the game, so he'll be along in just a few moments. But tonight, the big story, of course, is this hockey game, because the Penguins, the last undefeated team in the NHL, a record of 5-0-2 against the Detroit Red Wings, the top team in the Norris Division right now, with a record of 4-2, and they are a team that has just a tremendous number of talented, skilled players, and a lot of people think they are a favorite to win the Stanley Cup, or at least go to the final. Sports Illustrated, in fact, picked them to win the Stanley Cup, so it should be a real challenge for the Penguins here tonight. And now, let's go to the public address announcer here at the Civic Arena, John Barbaro, who's going to introduce Mike Lang.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the Penguins, Mike Lang.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're here to salute the first ever members of the newly established Penguins Hall of Fame. Yeah. Without question, there have been many low points in the history of this franchise. There have been many high points also. But the one thing that has remained a very constant here has been the quality of personnel with this team. Tonight, we will honor three of the all-time greats with the Penguin organization. Right winger Jean Pronovost was a member of the Century Line in Pittsburgh. With Syl Apps and Lowell McDonald, he was the first Penguin player ever to score 50 goals in a season. He was a four-time All-Star selection, and believe me, pound for pound, he was as hard a working hockey player as I have ever seen in the time I've spent in the game. Win or lose, Jean Pronovost, through tough times and good times, was always there to talk to people like me, the media and writers, and I know they appreciate it immensely. He's now the head coach at the prestigious McGill University of Montreal, a hockey coach. And we would like to have another player who's no stranger to all-star competition. He won the MVP trophy in the National Hockey League's 1975 Classic. To present the trophy in the Hall of Fame to Jean Pronovost, former center Syl Apps.
It's with great pleasure that I've been given the opportunity this evening to introduce the first inductee into the Pittsburgh Penguin Hall of Fame. I may repeat a little bit what Mike has said. John, obviously a 14-year veteran. I had the good fortune of playing with him for 6.5 years of the 10 years he was here in Pittsburgh. Over those 10 years, he scored 20 or more goals in 9 of those seasons. He was a 50-goal scorer when 50 goals were a rarity rather than the norm. If I could take 2 seconds to read some stats, he still ranks second in club history in goals with 316, third in points with 603, fifth in assists with 287. He scored 9 game-winning goals in the 74-75 season, which is still tied for the record for Pittsburgh Penguins. a man that came to play every day, quietly efficient, hardworking, a leader by example, a great talent. A talent recognized by the team, making him captain in 77-78, recognized by the league, and is representing Pittsburgh in 4 All-Star games. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that the happiest days of his professional career were spent in this great city. The selection committee has made an excellent choice in honoring a most deserving individual in Jean Pronovost for the charter membership and the Pittsburgh Penguin Hall of Fame. John?
Thank you very much. It's good to be home. I would like to pay a tribute to this fellow beside me, Sil Apps. If I'm here tonight, it's because he had a big part in it. So thank you, Sil, for making me what I am today. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here tonight, and I really appreciated the choice of the selection committee for selecting me into the Hall of Fame. I thank you, fans. It's been great. I don't regret anything, and I want to leave you with this thought, seed thoughts for tonight. This is, in hockey, dynasties are rare today, but I'm going to leave you with this. Dynasty in '93 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Thank you.
A lot of these folks remember you guys in the blue and white, believe me. I do. Right winger Rick Keough played 10 years with the Penguins. He was a 2-time All-Star player. He won the Lady Byng Trophy as the league's most gentlemanly player. He still holds the record for the most goals by a right winger in Penguin history at 55, and now an assistant coach with the Penguins. To present the award and to welcome Rick Keough into the Hall of Fame, a gentleman that's now in business in Quebec, but one of the great fan favorites here in Pittsburgh, played 7 years from 74-75 through 81-82. Will you welcome Mario Faubert?
Thank you very much. I was really flattered when Ricky asked me to come here and present him with the award tonight. So Tuesday night, I was wondering what I was going to say to Rick. Sitting at home with my daughters, we were watching the replays of the Penguin hockey game, the nice win on Tuesday night. So I told my girls, I said, I'm going there to introduce a good friend of mine into the Hockey Hall of Fame, the Pittsburgh Penguin Hall of Fame. But you see how much they remember Daddy in Pittsburgh? They got all those signs with Mario on it there. I guess the best way to introduce Rick would be to describe his career. I think his record speaks for itself. I know as a former teammate of his, I can talk on my behalf and on behalf of all his ex-teammates that Rick was really a player's player when we played. No matter where we played and how well or bad the team did, and God knows we had some bad times a few of those years, Rick was always there day in and day out. I think his career has been one of the best in Pittsburgh, and I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy for the decision of the Pittsburgh Penguins inducting him into the Hall of Fame. And I would like to introduce you to Mr. Rick Kehoe.
Thank you, Mario. Like I said at the luncheon today, I'm very honored and proud to be inducted into Pittsburgh Penguins Hall of Fame with two people that I have great respect for, Bob, God bless him, and John, who's a good friend of mine. But I've been in Pittsburgh now for 19 years, and it's great to see how many hockey fans are here now. And it's great to see this building filled almost every night. And like the saying goes, you've come a long way, baby. And you gotta love those banners up there, don't you? Thank you.
Ramblin' Rick Kehoe. Our next inductee into the Pittsburgh Penguins Hall of Fame led the Wisconsin Badgers to 3 NCAA championships. He coached the U.S. Olympic team in 1976, and he hit the top of the mountain in 1991, winning the Stanley Cup for the Penguins the first time in their history. To present the award in honor of the late Bob Johnson, to his wife Martha, the current Pens coach and coach of the 92 Stanley Cup champions, Scotty Bowman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been touched with the late Bob Johnson in Pittsburgh and the Johnson family, and his feats have been well documented. But I want to tell the fans of Pittsburgh how fortunate we are. Martha Johnson lives in Pittsburgh, and she remains a big part of the Pittsburgh Penguin family. So we'd like to present Martha with this prestigious award for, although Bob spent only one season with the Pittsburgh Penguins, he did what most people would take a lifetime. So I'm proud to be able to present the induction of the late Bob Johnson to Martha Johnson.
I'm going to turn around this way because up over my shoulder is the sign, the Badger. So I always feel like he's looking over my shoulder as he always did. And I'm sure he's here tonight. I'm really proud to accept this for the Johnson family and for Bob. And it was our pleasure to come here to Pittsburgh. And hopefully the boys can keep on winning, because you fans certainly deserve it. You have put in a lot of time, money coming into this building, and we'll hope that we can keep on winning, because that's what we're all here for. Thank you very much.
Now, if we can get Penguin captain Mario Lemieux and the assistant captains for tonight's game, Larry Murphy and Kevin Stevens, to skate forward. A presentation to each inductee from the Penguin Hockey Club. They are uniforms. Road uniforms going to Rick Kehoe and John Pronovo, and a home uniform for the late Bob Johnson. Inductees for the first time in the Penguins Hall of Fame, Bob Johnson, Rick Kehoe, and John Pronovo.
And for the benefit of our radio audience, the fans here at the Civic Arena giving the inductees a standing ovation, as they did for each one of them, as a matter of fact, as they came out onto the carpet here at the Civic Arena.
Just a short note, if you will. Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations. Our thanks tonight to the Red Wings management and players and their broadcasters who have graciously allowed us to take the time to honor these former greats. This is a thrilling moment, folks, here in this building. We've had so many, particularly the last 2 years. And I have a final thought. To you, the Penguin fans, I'd like to personally induct each and every one of you into the Fans Hall of Fame. Thanks for being a part of it all. You've been something. Enjoy this great team. It's something else, and it is now a hockey night in Pittsburgh.
And we will be back with tonight's hockey game, and it should be a great one. The Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings coming up in just a moment right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Smart Buys at Giant Eagle, you save money 3 ways. For one, we've lowered the price on over 2,000 items you use most, like detergent, cereal, diapers, and more. Also, whenever Giant Eagle gets special savings from manufacturers, we pass them on to you, again, saving you money. And when it comes to pre-priced items, Giant Eagle automatically reprices them 10 to 25% less every day, so you save even more. At Giant Eagle, there's always a lot you can feel good about, especially the price.
In my beer commercial, I have real men doing real things on a hot Saturday afternoon. They're slaving away in the hot sun, and then all of a sudden, off in the distance, they'd hear it. The tinkling bells, like when you were a little kid and the ice cream truck would pull up in your neighborhood, but now they're adults, and it's the Iron City beer truck. So they go, the beer truck's here, the beer truck's here. They ask their wives, please, honey, can I have some money for beer? Cold Iron City. That's what we want. Come on, how was your first?
Iron City beer. There's a little iron in all of us.
It's a Berg thing.
Mr. Monday Night joins KBL Sports Beat every Monday night throughout football season. He's coming off a 14-3 record, and he's hot, so have your pencils ready.
Cars are a big investment, so when your car is damaged, you want to take it to someone who can fix it right. Wildwood Collision guarantees the highest quality repairs with a 100% written warranty on all work. Wildwood Collision is a full-service auto body center with complete collision service, frame repairs, auto glass replacement, and rental cars. Wildwood Collision honors all insurance claims and provides you with free estimates on all work. Wildwood Collision, Route 8, south of the Turnpike in Gibsonia.
Experience Germany at the Kleiner Deutschmann restaurant in Springdale. Savor our hearty cuisine, prepared in the tradition of Europe's finest restaurants. Our beautiful dining room has been authentically decorated to recreate a warm, old-world German atmosphere. Our delicious cakes and strudels are made fresh daily for your enjoyment. The Kleiner Deutschmann restaurant in Springdale, created in the tradition of Germany's finest restaurants. Open Monday through Saturday, closed Sundays. For reservations, phone 274-5022.
Okay, I'll take a look at the scouting report for tonight's game between the Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings. The Penguins leading the Patrick Division, the Red Wings on top of the Norris Division. They're very strong down the middle, particularly with Fedorov and Yzerman, two tremendous skill players. And Fedorov, a very good defensive hockey player, probably underrated in that regard because you think of him as that flashy guy from over there in Russia. But I'll tell you, he can check out there too, as well as put the puck in the net and make plays. Wings are a very big team, particularly up front. And they're a team that would appear to have all the ingredients of being a championship club, although you know that no general manager is ever completely satisfied with his lineup. The 3 top plus-minus leaders in the National Hockey League a year ago are struggling. This year, Lidstrom a -6, Eisebart a -4, and McCrimmon a -3. For instance, McCrimmon last year finished at plus 39, second best on his club, and right now he's a -3. And the Penguins special teams continue to excel. The Vancouver Canucks were 0 for 6 on the power play the other night. The Penguins power play tops in the league. And including the playoffs from last year, the Penguins are undefeated in 18 straight games. And the all-time record between the Penguins and the Red Wings is 48, 48, and 15. Pretty evenly matched over the years. Although the Penguins have really dominated this team here at the Civic Arena. The Red Wings have not won here in 5 years and 9 months. That's been that long, and they've been outscored in the last 8 games here. They're 0-7-1 against Pittsburgh, 29-11. And now our national anthem from the Civic Arena.
Flags above the scoreboard, and join Pure Gold in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, her so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs burning in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pittsburgh's own Pure Gold with a singing of the national anthem here at the arena. Tim Chevelday gets the start in goal tonight for the Red Wings. He played 72 games last year for Detroit. Played the first 38 games, but he did not play the last game for the Red Wings when they beat Winnipeg. It was Vincent Riendeau, so he's going to get some rest this year. On the other side, Tom Barrasso. And of course, Barrasso off to a great start for the Penguins. The Penguins have been an outstanding defensive club here in the first part of the season. There's a tendency to think of them as being a team that's strictly offense, but that has not been the case early in the year, as they have one of the best records defensively in the NHL right now. The referee tonight, Mark Fossett, Gerard Gauthier, and Pierre Champoux are the linesmen. Mario Lemieux's line will start with Kevin Stevens and Rick Tocchet, Paul Samuelson, and Larry Murphy on defense. The Red Wings go with Steve Chason and Mark Howe on defense. Steve Yzerman's line with Gallant up front and Dino Ciccarelli. And here's Mike Lang to call it.
Oh, keep talking, Staggy. That's a long haul. I remember when they put this press box in, rebuild it. They said, we're not going to put the elevator in this year. We'll put it in next. Yeah, well, they're still waiting. Here's Racine, right side of Ciccarelli, and he shoots, and it hit the side of the Penguin net to begin the game. He throws it right back out in front. And it'll be Barrasso's. Stopping that, Tommy might have been hurt on that play. Just 19 seconds into the game, Barrasso got stunned on that hard whipping pass by Ciccarelli back to the goal, and he might be hurt. Thank you, Tommy. Chance to catch my breath.
Well, Ciccarelli taking that pass on the right wing, and I don't think Penguin fans have to be told of what a problem he can be for the Pens, as he really dominated the first few games of the playoff series last year between the Penguins and Capitals, until the Penguins got Bob Airey out there to shut him down. Really throwing one back out in front, and I don't know if Barrasso got hurt when he went down or if he got hurt when the puck came back out in front on the pass by Ciccarelli. It looked like he may have landed on his arm. It appears to me that he's moving his left arm, Mike. He may have hurt his shoulder.
Well, Dino Ciccarelli certainly no stranger to Penguin fans and this Penguin club too, and a very dangerous goal scorer. We just wait now to see whether or not Barrasso can continue. Did you get the scratches, Paul?
I did not give him, no. I didn't.
Sean Burr is out with an injury. Ray Shepard out with a bad knee. Dennis Vial and Peter Herbeck, a rookie, not playing tonight. For the Penguins, Bob Airey and Joey Mullen remain on the shelf. Grant Jennings, Jeff Chikrin, Jamie Leach, and Martin Straka are scratched for Pittsburgh. Well, Tommy's going to give it a go. He has been something. The Penguins #2 on defense in the National Hockey League right now, behind only the New York Rangers in goals against per game. Their offense, of course, flying like a big oiled machine right now. Lemieux in against Yzerman and pulled to the Penguin net. Barrasso turns it over gingerly to Larry Murphy, the Penguin defenseman, on to Walt Samuelson. Hand to the left wing to Kevin Stevens. Dump it to center, who was cut off by Yves Racine, number 33 for the Red Wings. He'll get it to his partner Chason. Chason coughed it up, now in the neutral zone. Racine gets it back. Over to the near side to Gerard Gallant. Gallant works with Yzerman out here. And also Dino Cicerelli. Lemieux looking for the puck, goes into the Red Wings in, got it around the man, walks to the net, is shot, and a good save by Cheveldae on Mario Lemieux. Here's Tocchet. In front for Stevens, a pass a little too hard. And it's intercepted by the Red Wings, and they throw it to the right point, where it's stopped by Murphy of the Penguins. Drive it to the net, deflected, stopped now by Cheveldae as Lemieux had his blade in there. And he makes the save on Mario Lemieux. We've been talking about Lemieux. Mario has scored in all 7 games in the early part of the season for the Penguins. And we had told you that Wayne Gretzky, we had been led to believe, we're told that the record was 28 straight games that a goal had been scored in. But that's not true. We're wrong. 16 games is a record set in 1921-22 with the Ottawa Senators. Harry Broadbent, remember him? He wasn't on the ice for the Hall of Fame presentation. He had 25 goals that year, but in 16 games straight, he scored a goal. Pat LaFontaine, in recent history, scored in 11 straight with the Islanders in 89-90. Brad McCrimmon defensively now for the Red Wings, coached by Brian Murray, on to Keith Primo. And Primo and Yzerman working out here for the Detroit Red Wings. And Sergei Fedorov, their top center iceman. They've got a pretty strong center ice area here, with Fedorov giving the puck now on that far side. And Lidstrom now steers it up to the Penguin line. Cut off by the Penguins. And Jimmy Pack will bang it right back into Detroit territory. This might be an icing call against the Pens, and it will be. They're just kind of gingerly feeling each other out right now. There hasn't been a whole lot of pressure one way or the other. Nicholas Lidstrom, who got up to such a great start last year for the Red Wings, but this year he has suffered a bit, particularly on the plus-minus side. He's a minus player with some numbers up there. He's a -6 already in the early going.
Yeah, and last year he was among the top leaders in the plus-minus, a +36 for him, third. All 3 of the leaders, as we pointed out in our scouting report, are struggling a little bit this year at the start of the season, but it's very early. Lidstrom, a very talented hockey player. He's a good man to have on that blue line from an offensive standpoint. He moves the puck extremely well.
Well, the Pens have put Stapleton's line out here against Fedorov, so they go with a checking unit here with Loney and Mike Needham to work against Fedorov's trio. And that's the choice now of Scotty Bowman, the Penguins coach, and he's going to put a checking line, at least on this shift, against them. And Shel Samuelson controls the biscuit. Penguin defenseman dump it out ahead. Nobody home at center, and it goes through to the Red Wing zone. McCrimmon backpedaling, number 2 for the Red Wings, decked out of the traveling red uniforms with a white trim. Pass on ahead for Keith Primo, but he can't take it into the Penguins' end. He told us today that Keith Primo grew another inch. He is now 6'6". So he's among the tallest players in the National Hockey League. Uwe Krupp and Shel Samuelson hold that distinction. Now back right in front of the Detroit goal. Needham trying to bang away at it, where he gets a lot of his scores from. Stapleton, though, has the puck. Goes behind the Red Wing net. Mike Stapleton of Pittsburgh. No score, first period. Out in front, Loney's there. Is shot, and a save by Cheveldae. The rebound, they jam it up and work to the right point. Shel Samuelson's going to crank it up, and his blast missed the net. Penguins continue where they left off against Vancouver. They're smoking right now, going here in this Detroit zone, putting some pressure on with this checking line. Off Samuelson. Sneak it in behind the Red Wings goal. Loney tries to turn it around on the wraparound, but Primo, with that big size, cuts him off at the pass. Works him over to the far corner. 17-16 left first period. No score. Fedorov finally gets control of the puck, and he'll sneak it out to Paul Yzerman. Yzerman played up over the Detroit bench, and the Penguins with a good shift there. Stapleton, Loney, and Mike Needham really doing a great job against that tough Sergei Fedorov, who can fly. Boy, I'll tell you, you don't want to give him any room, and they did an excellent job at checking.
I'll tell you, the best way to keep those guys from burning you is to keep them bottled up in their end of the rink, and that's where this line comes in handy, because they are the kind of line that'll get it in deep, work the backboards, work the corners, and just continue to cycle and try to keep that puck in play around that net. And that was a tremendous job by Loney, Needham, and Stapleton to do just that. Shel Samuelson with a hard blast from the right point that missed the net. Cheveldae was fishing for that shot, but it was way wide of the goal. A good tempo set by that line too, and that can be contagious. It can carry over to the next line when they step onto the ice.
Now the Lemieux line steps right back on for the Penguins, and it'll be Tocchet and Stevens on either side for Mario Lemieux. Dallas Drake, a rookie who's been impressive in the early going for the Red Wings. Spin it up ahead now to Konstantinov. Vladimir Konstantinov from the right wing to Jimmy Carson. Roll it around to the far corner to Ogrodnik of Detroit. Left point to Mark Howe. Wrist it towards the net. Hit his own player, Ogrodnik. Bouncing free back in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Larry Murphy reaches in. Took it away from Dallas Drake. Murphy trying to move it out of the area. It comes to the point. Ahead it goes to Lemieux, back in a 2-on-1 with Stevens. Lemieux right side with Konstantinov. Lemieux brings it in against him. Now put it in front. It came off the leg of Konstantinov. And right wide of the net. And the Red Wings can't get it out. Lemieux near corner. Muriel looks, wheels and deals. In front, got Tucker right there. He flipped it in front. It's knocked down by the Red Wings. Carson knocked it down. Now it comes back behind the net. The Penguins swarm again like bees around a hive. Mark Howe trying to clear it out. Right point. Murphy will hold it in. Murphy of the Penguins looking near side of Lemieux. Muriel turns his back. Bumps into the Red Wings Konstantinov, and the puck finally lifted out of Detroit territory.
You don't want to turn your back too often on Konstantinov because he'll hit you from behind. He's a tough player. The mean streaking. Well, the Pens had a 2-on-1. They just couldn't make it work as Lemieux came in against Konstantinov. And also on the ice was Stevens breaking in. The Red Wings successfully defend that. The Penguins out shooting Detroit 4-1 here in the first period. And Stanton back to touch it. We get an icing call against Detroit. 15:40 left in the first. There is no score here in Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
These are the machines of the 90s.
Fuel injection, overhead cam, multi valve.
Today's high-tech engines demand high-tech protection. Kendall Motor Oil is specifically designed to provide the ultimate protection against heat and wear under the most extreme conditions. Don't take a chance with your high-tech engine. Use Kendall Motor Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. Kendall Motor Oil, pour in the protection. Kendall, available at these locations.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a new face on the team. Remember all the great action of last year's Stanley Cup victory with the Pittsburgh Penguins highlight video, Against the Odds, available through the mail. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Do it again.
Rick Tocchet made this play by chipping the puck quickly out to center to Lemieux. Sent him in on a 2-on-1. He faked the shot. Chevrolet didn't go for it. He stood his ground, and Lemieux then didn't really know what to do with it. And he tried to pass it across and went off Konstantinov and almost went into the net off of his skate. It's very rare that you see Lemieux on a 2-on-1 not get a shot on goal, and he didn't there. And I mean, either he shoots it or the guy's in there with it.
Jágr has the biscuit, and he'll shoot it now wide of the net. Jaromir Jágr off to a big start for the Penguins, and here's Yzerman now racing back for Detroit. He'll blast it up into the Penguins in off the leg. It comes free in front, and Gallant just missed, giving the Red Wings the lead there. 1-0. Just missed that net. Driven off the boards, and Francis looks for it. He'll get it over to Paul Stanton. Stanton on to McEachran on the right wing. McEachran leads it back into the corner, and Jágr will chase after it for the Penguins. Gallant turns and just whistles it off the sideboards, and that's up ice back into Penguin real estate. 15 minutes left here in the first period. Stanton onto his partner, Ralph Samuelson, cruising right back behind goaltender Tom Barrasso, and relayed to the right wing to Jágr. He'll poke it up ice, and this might be an icy call against the Penguins, and it will be. Now, Detroit's one of the few teams that has a winning record on the road, and the Penguins are one, but they're 2-1, Paul. And the home teams this year are winning close to 68% of the games right now in the early going. That's a very high number. Penguins, of course, play here at home, and then they'll travel on a 4-game road trip that will take them to New Jersey, Ottawa, then St. Louis.
Certainly the Penguins have benefited from being at home. 5 of their first 7, and they're 4-0-1 on home ice. Last year, the Red Wings under Brian Murray, a record of 19-13-8 on the road. That was the best road record in the NHL a year ago.
They're tough. They're very tough on the road, and Brian's teams traditionally have been. They're very well schooled and well disciplined and well coached. Certainly is not an easy chore to beat a Brian Murray team, believe me. Dave Tippett played for Brian Murray. Tippett had Jeff Daniels and Jay Caulfield out here. Caulfield handles the draw, but he lost it. Lidstrom at the left point. His shot deflected. Coming over to Sheldon Kennedy of the Red Wings. He and Probert along with Sillinger, the rookie. Sillinger, number 23 for the Red Wings. Probert's been having a tough start. He's regulated now here to another line here by the Red Wings. They try and get him going. They go now to Kennedy, and Sheldon Kennedy who shoots in the right way circle, missed the target. Got a broken stick on the ice. It comes all the way around here to the near side. And Tippett takes command of it. His pass out comes right back to him, and now he turns it over to center to Jay Caulfield. And the whistle sounds. We've got a penalty coming up here. I think Dave Tippett might have been caught.
Tippett may have hit somebody from behind.
And he took a shot at Bob Probert. Probert came after him, and I think that Tippett saw him coming, got out of the way, and then when Probert went by, he took a shot at Probert from behind.
Mark Bassett, the referee tonight, makes the first call. 5:45, the time of this minor penalty for cross-checking.
Well, Samuelson in a good collision with Probert, and then Tippett cross-checked him from behind. Came out of there with the puck. Tippett being bumped. And then just a little tap on the back, really, but that was the call. That was the cross-check there against Sheldon Kennedy, even though he really put the lumber into Probert over in the Penguin zone. That was a much more innocent-looking maneuver there at center ice, but he gets the penalty for that.
So the Red Wings put their power play to use. First chance for either club. They're 7th in the league overall, 23.3%. They have 7 power play goals. The Penguins have given up 4, and their penalty killing percentage 3rd overall in the league at 90.5%. 90.5. Jimmy Carson races up now. They were perfect against the Vancouver Canucks. On 2 tonight. The Canucks failed on 6 opportunities, and here's Racine losing the puck. Lemieux off the stick and on the center. Penguins do not have a short end of goal yet this year. Fedorov drags it around to the Penguin zone to Eisebart. Right side, bang it around the boards to the left wing corner of the Penguin zone. Lemieux reached in, trying to get it. He couldn't. Chase on. Sneak it in behind the Penguin net to Paul Eisebart. Eisebart being pressured by Francis. They go right point. Lemieux is after Racine in a hurry. He does turn it over to the near side. To Paul Eisebart of the Red Wings. Near corner to Fedorov. Centers a little too hard, but Carson has it. He'll blast it from 40. That missed the target. And around the wood, but not out. Chase on. Bangs it right back in front of the net. And Ulf Samuelsson blocked that to the right point. Racine steers it over. It's intercepted by Ulf Samuelsson. And he clears the center red with 59 seconds to go on the penalty to Dave Tippett. No score first period, the Penguins and the Red Wings. Chason leads the rush in. And Chason to the left wing corner now. Centers it back. And here's Eisman running into his own man. Picked up, though, by Carson. A heavy slap shot. That's blocked by Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender. And Tommy reacts a little slowly on that as though he may be hurt. Just could tell the way he reacted, as if to take a deep breath. And he's favoring his arms, his shoulders away. He's just sitting in the net. He might be playing possum, too, to the Red Wings. You don't know. Here's Racine over to the left side. Shoot it down the boards and in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Barrasso gets it to Stanton. Stanton shooting up that glass, and it comes around left point. Chase on, shooting right to the net. That's stopped by Barrasso. One of the wings went down in front, back to the left point. 15 seconds to go on the penalty. And the Penguins do flip it back onto the center circle. Red Wings don't have much time here. Lidstrom. It's a very talented Detroit team. They've got good personnel, very strong on all 4 lines that they put out. Plus their power play is very solid. They'll be a tough contender this year. They lose the puck, though, and the Penguins in is Stapleton. Coming on. Tippett took the pass. He just stepped on. Going left side of the Detroit zone. A slip shot. Score! Dave Tippett gives the Penguins a lead 1-0. Great balls of fire. I think it hit Howe's stick and then deflected in on Chevelday. It was going a different speed and it appeared to go between his legs. Penguins lead 1-0.
Well, that one came out of nowhere, but a good play by Stapleton to turn it up quickly to Tippett. He looked the net over and then cranked it up. Howe did stick out there, but I don't know if it did hit him, Mike. Chevelday got a piece of the shot, just didn't get all of it, and it went into the net between his legs. Tippett looked at the net and then just put his head down and buried it. And it went off the blade of his stick and between his legs.
So Dave Tippett, who just came out of the penalty box, gets the Penguins' first goal tonight. And the assists go to Mike Stapleton and Paul Stanton. Number 1 on the year for Tippett from 35 feet. And wristed in behind the Penguin goal. Near to the near side, Kevin Stevens returns it to center ice. After that puck will be Sheldon Kennedy, but he played it off a leg and it carries him into Detroit territory. Kennedy will get the pass back and he carries it up, passing left wing to Bob Probert. Probert to the Penguins in. Well, Detroit in 6 games has scored the first goal in 5 of those. The Penguins now have scored in 6 of the first 8 games that they've been involved in, and we'll return in a moment. 1-0 Pittsburgh on a goal by Dave Tippett on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I work Saturdays and Sundays. It's not a job. It's a dedication. I don't think you can teach someone to tune. You just got to practice until it's natural, just like breathing. There seems something mystic about it. So much beauty comes out of music.
At Mellon, you're why we do our very best.
What? No dip?
For a really great Halloween, pick up tons of Pepsi and Doritos.
Yarmer Yager was hit by Keith Primo earlier in this hockey game. He did take a shift after being hit by Primo. He's on the end of the bench right now, talking with the Penguins trainer. Appears to be a little bit shaken up still to this point by a big hit by 6'6" Keith Primo. Both of them were drafted in the top 5 at the draft in Vancouver 3 years ago.
The Penguins move it on to center, and here's Lemieux giving chase to the puck. Left side of the Detroit zone, moves in, and his wrist shot. McCrimmon block out. He puts it right back on. Off the boards, and a stop by Tim Cheveldae. Now Eisenbart takes command of the puck for the Red Wings. Feed it near side. Penguins lead 1-0 on a Dave Tippett goal. Right to the Penguin line. Samuelson will stop that, and Brad McCrimmon takes it away from him. Cross-rink pass to Lidstrom. On the move is Stan. He's got room, and he shoots it right on, and Cheveldae will make the save. Stevens on the rebound, and a good save there by Cheveldae. Detroit really lax in their own end and trying to cover the Penguins, and that almost cost them a goal. One shot by Stanton, the other on a rebound by Kevin Stevens. You don't want to give those guys much room to work with. Here's Fedorov now into the Penguins end, and a good poke check by Samuelson. Samuelson, that is. Paul Stanton couldn't find anybody open, and he comes to the bench now. We'll get an icing call against the Penguins again. Stanton was trying to find somebody to lead it to, and he wanted to get off the ice also. So we get an icing call against the Pens. Saturday night, the Pens in New Jersey. I mentioned the 4-game road trip. They've got Ottawa, and then St. Louis and Tampa Bay before they come home. Penguins again putting pressure on Detroit goaltender Cheveldae.
Boy, Stevens is getting so strong on the puck. I mean, ability to one hand to just get hold of that puck and working into position to get a shot away. The other night, using that one hand on the stick to move the puck, and he's just getting so much stronger, more confident, so much calmer in the slot area.
Jaromir Jagr controlling the puck as he comes on to center. He's back on his line here with McEachran and Ronnie Francis. Francis quietly again off to a very strong start for the Penguins. They scored in every game so far. And it comes to John Ogrodnik of Detroit. Snap it away behind the Penguin goal. Barrasso moved it out of the area on to center. Tommy, who has had some great passes this year, including one to Mario Lemieux to set him up on a breakaway goal. The great ones we've seen a goaltender make. Here's Ogrodnik again dragging the puck in front of the Penguin bench. Lost it over to Jimmy Pack of the Pens, and Jagr on the puck spins it right side to Shell Samuelson. Samuelson will wrist it in behind the Detroit goal. Penguins about shot Detroit 8-4. They lead 1-0 here. The only goal of the game by Dave Tippett of the Penguins, and Jimmy Carson gains possession, goes rink wide over to Ogrodnik. He just tries to tap it into the Penguins in and get off here, and he can't do it as Murphy breaks it up. It goes to Jagr, but he is belted on a check by Yves Racine. And back come the Red Wings on the counterattack. Jimmy Carson with a heavy slap shot. He can fire from anywhere, Jimmy Carson. And it's stopped, and he holds on to it, does Barrasso.
Jagr just came right back to the bench, Mike, and you know that's not like Jaromir Jagr. He almost has to be dragged off the ice. He came off in a hurry and took a seat again, so he is definitely shaken up. The shot, Barrasso kneeling down to glove it.
Yeah, particularly when you realize the last 2 games that Jagr has had, he's been so strong and a dominant force, and tonight he appears to be shaken up.
Start your own collection of Penguins game videotapes by calling Genesis Video Productions at 1-800-TRY-PENS, and if you order tonight, you'll receive a free 92 Mario Lemieux Top Stadium hockey card.
Space off to the right of the Penguin goal, working to the corner. Barry Murphy defensively. Aired out here with Ulf Samuelson, and they just bounce it back to center. The Red Wings backpedal to their own end. Chase on. Lead it ahead to number 19, Yzerman. Left side of Gallant with that booming shot. They're firing long of the Red Wings. On Barrasso, it comes off that left wing corner. And Steve Yzerman centers it back in front, but Jeff Daniels breaks up that maneuver. So the Penguins have Needham and Daniels on either side for Dave Tippett right now. Lifted back into Detroit territory. Behind the Detroit goal, it comes over to Gerard Gallant. Gallant systematically plays it out with this Detroit team. You see a lot of Brian Murray in this team, do you not, Paul? I mean, he has taken the system that he worked with for so long in Washington and adapted here, and it's a very sound hockey system, one that results in a lot of victories. And of course, he has built the personnel as the general manager of this club too. And you can just tell they're so well schooled. They're a very deliberate team. Stevens coming back into the Detroit zone. Got bumped, knocked down. Here come the Red Wings, 2-on-2. But the Penguins very well schooled right now themselves. Trying to shut this down. Lemieux back checking in his own end. He runs into Yzerman. Yzerman went down. Here's Gallant, though, turning to shoot it. And a block in front. It's a penalty coming up, though, against the Penguins. An interference call as Gallant was belted hard and knocked down, and the Penguins will be shorthanded again. We'll return. The Penguins 1, Detroit 0 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Don't settle for a mere mulching mower. Get a Toro Recycler mower at your local Toro dealer and make no payments until next April. Only the Toro Recycler mower has patented deflectors that help to recut clippings and turn them into fine pieces, creating a natural fertilizer, not thatch. So you get a healthy, beautiful lawn without bagging. Buy a Toro Recycler mower for as low as $299 and pay nothing until April 1993. So don't get stuck with a mere mulcher. See the full line of Toro Recycler mowers at
Litton's Power Equipment Wheeling, Gosnell's Garden Shop, Greensburg, Turner Sales and Service, Moon Township.
In my beer commercial, I'd write a famous blues song. I'm going to tell you a story about a friend of mine. This guy's cool. I'm telling you, this cat's fine. He's cool in the afternoon, and it's cooler at night. First name I see, and his last name is Light.
I see Light, the light beer with a unique Pittsburgh ingredient. Taste.
It's a bird thing.
Penalty is issued to Penguin defenseman Paul Stanton. Interference the call at 11:40, and so the Red Wings go to work on their second power play chance. It wasn't Gallant who was knocked down. He went down after. That would have been an unsportsmanlike penalty probably for diving, but it was Stanton who did take the man down in front prior to that. Here are the Red Wings trying to get even, but they lose the puck, and Lemieux and Francis now toy with that biscuit as they bring it back to the Detroit line. They lose possession to Bob Probert. Probert hustles up into the Penguins' end. A strong winger. Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov going over to Yves Racine. And Racine sneaking in behind the Penguin goal to Probert. He is so tough in size, and he can make the play, but he threw it at him between the circles, and Francis read it well, and he will just relay it back into Detroit territory. The power play right now with Racine working out here with Chason. To see how much they use Mark Howe in their power play, Paul. Now, of course, coming over from Philadelphia as a free agent. Near corner, Fedorov to the right point to Yves Racine. Racine left side to Chason. Lemieux trying to shut him down. Wristed towards the net, never got there. Lemieux turns and whistles it by Chason and takes the heat out of a hot kitchen. The Red Wings have yet to register a shot here as we approach a minute and 5 seconds left on the penalty to Paul Stanton. Chason back penalty. Giving the puck over on the right side to Jimmy Carson. Carson over to Yzerman of Detroit. To the left side to Bob Probert. Probert banking in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Jimmy Pack defensively with the pins. Cannot clear. The Red Wings take command of it. Chason pass to the left point to Yves Racine. Racine back behind the net. They like to set him up in behind that goal and around it. They let him kind of be a pillar to work off of. Now here to the near right point. Dino Cicerelli. Center point over to Chason. Heavy shot, and that's saved by Barrasso. The rebound. Yzerman can't slam it in. He's tough in that area, too. Anywhere from 25 feet on in around that goal. Steve Yzerman, Chason, right side to Cicerelli. They've got some great sharpshooters here, the Red Wings. Racine, center point. Chason, right side. 22 to go on the penalty. Dino Cicerelli pressured heavily by Jimmy Pack, who made a good play as Cicerelli outfitted him. Play goes on. The Penguins have it, and Mike Stapleton's going to clear it up into Detroit ice, and that'll kill the penalty. The Red Wings only have 7 seconds left now in the man advantage. Wrist it long into the Penguin zone. Ulf Samuelsson back to get away with an icing call against Detroit as the penalty has expired to Stanton. The Penguins perfect in their penalty killing.
And they were perfect against Vancouver the other night. The Canucks were 0 for 6 on their power play. Never before have we seen the Penguins get off to such a strong start as far as penalty killing is concerned, and they've been outstanding in that regard.
If you're wondering whether or not this is the Penguins' best start ever, it is not. They won 7-0 to begin the season. Back under Bob Berry, and that year they ended up out of the playoffs. So I don't think that be the case if they get off to a start like that.
And you know what?
Go ahead.
I was going to say 6 years ago tonight, the Penguins beat Buffalo 5-4 in overtime to extend their winning streak to 7 games, and that's a club record. It still stands, as you just mentioned. That was 6 years ago.
Yuskevich for Philadelphia, Sandlak for Vancouver. They're tied 1-1 at Philadelphia. Tampa Bay and Toronto. Bradley scored for the Tampa Bay Lightning, his 4th, but Pearson and Clark have scored for Toronto. And the Maple Leafs lead Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay 2-1. First period scores. The games, Hartford at Ottawa, New Jersey at Chicago tonight in the NHL. Yager back on to give it a go again. Yarmer wheel and deal on the near side against McCrimmon. Comes towards that net, centers it in front, and Cheveldae got a goaltender stick on that to knock it away. But here's Yager after the puck one more time. He just goes after that puck relentlessly. He's knocked down again. The Red Wings storm up back into the Penguins' end. Right side, Cicerelli got a man open left side. Yzerman, but he failed on the shot. That was a break there for the Penguins because Yzerman could not tee it up, and he could score from anywhere. Now in front, here's a shot by Ogrodnik, and that was blocked. And a change of lines for Brian Murray as he tries to get something going here. This Detroit team has won 2 in a row and 4 of their last 5 for a sluggy start. Here's Murphy back in deep Detroit zone, trying to center it. Penguins have lost only 1 game, I believe, in the last 11 against the Red Wings. There have been a number of ties in there, too, so they've had an upper hand. McEachran on the pins, leading 1-0. John McEachran, among the top rookies in the National Hockey League in scoring, lost the puck, though, to Ogrodnik. And the veteran left winger who started in Detroit, now back with the Red Wings, guns it into Penguin territory. 5:15 left first period, 1-0 Pittsburgh. The only goal will be joined this late by Dave Tippett. Penguin center iceman, after coming out of the penalty box, not a short-handed goal. Eisenbard can't make a play. He lost control of it. And Brian Fogarty beat it ahead to Stevens now. To Lemieux on the left side, coming to the Red Wings end. Mario Lemieux to Stevens, and blocked nicely by Mark Howe. Howe read that beautifully, but a penalty coming up here against Detroit. He's knocked off his skates, going to the net. Right in front was Rick Tocchet. And the Penguins get their first power play opportunity. The turkey will be on the table. We'll be back in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Introducing the new minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Shop the widest range of models and options with savings on America's most popular minivans. Like Chrysler Town & Country, built for the luxury-minded, with leather quad seating, anti-lock brakes, a driver's minivan airbag, and full power accessories. If you're looking for a minivan, any minivan, first see the experts who sold over 3 million. The Minivan Store.
Chrysler Plymouth is the official team car of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is Mike Lang for the installed home improvement team at Sears. Did you know that Sears installs more home improvements than anyone else in the country? Why? Quality products with Sears-backed written warranties and convenient financing to meet your needs with no payments due until you sign a letter of satisfaction. Plus professional sales specialists and insured installers. Listen to me, satisfaction guaranteed or your money back written on every order. Really, can you afford not to buy from Sears? Join the winning team and call Sears today for your free in-home presentation.
Penalty goes to Keith Primo of the Red Wings, 15:04, and we go to our Ironman advantage, do we not?
Keith Primo sits down, and the Ironman advantage contestant is Ruth Lauren of Pittsburgh. $100 bill on the line from Iron City Beer.
Penguins #1 in the NHL in the power play in the early going at 31.8%. 2 for 4 against Vancouver on Tuesday. And they are off and flying. Left point Lemieux. Over to the right side to Larry Murphy. And Murphy drags it around. Fedorov on him. He gives it the puck to Lemieux. Walks in down deep around the net. A turning shot by Stevens. Stopped by Cheveldae. Tocchet of the Penguins. Throw it in front of the net. But Mark Howe read it nicely. Boy, he reads so well. Left point Francis. An experience of Mark Howe. And he's had this ability really since he's been a young player. I mean, he's just a great one. Lemieux off to Ronnie Francis. Center point. The near side of Lemieux. Lemieux works over. So we talk about Lemieux finding people out of the back of his head with extra eyes. Well, Mark Howe does the same thing, but only from a defensive standpoint. Stevens to Tocchet in front. Eisenbart got a stick on that, and Mark Howe has that puck, and he clears it away. He just anticipates and reads other players and gets himself in a position. Murphy to the left wing to Lemieux. Mario's got to do a little more thinking even more. Gets Howe put it in front, and Tocchet can't ram it in as Mark Howe is right on him again like a blanket. It's fun to watch great defensive players. Really it is. It's fun to watch the offensive ability people have and how they beat other players, but also it's great to see the defensive end of it. And remember, they don't know what the offensive player is going to do. They got to react, so that makes it even tougher for the great defensemen in this league.
React, and as you said, anticipate.
Larry Murphy trying to find Yager. 39 seconds to go. In the penalty to Keith Primo. Now it's dumped outside of the Penguin line and brought in by Detroit. The Penguins will have to settle for a face-off outside of their own line. The only goal by Dave Tippett from Mike Stapleton and Paul Stanton in the first period at 7:54. That's giving the Penguins a 1-0 advantage.
Steve Racine, a former first-round choice of the Detroit Red Wings. Good open ice hitter.
Got some, they got a lot of first-round choices on this team.
Yeah, they do. Well, they had some pretty lousy teams there a while back, and they've really put it all together. Brian Murray's done a great job of putting it together, but really it was Neil Smith and Jimmy Devellano who built this hockey club. Neil Smith now the general manager of the New York Rangers, and Jim Devellano is still in the Red Wings organization, but Brian Murray the general manager.
Sometimes it just takes that one guy to kind of get things organized and moving, and I honestly think that Bob Johnson was a big part of the Penguins' success in that regard. And Brian Murray has been successful wherever he's gone, and he's been successful here. Yager takes it back into the trigger. Rebound, Lemieux, he puts it in. Mario Lemieux gives the Penguins a 2-goal lead as he scores. Now getting the fast lane grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll. Mario Lemieux has scored now in 8 straight.
And Lemieux has that game face on tonight. You see that look? It's like a snarl. That's the look that he gets when he really is bearing down. Stevens threw the puck to Yager. He made a great wrist shot again off the shoulder of Cheveldae. He scrambled over, but he could not get over quickly enough. Lemieux was right there to hammer the puck back into the net. Stevens using his speed on Chason to set up Yager. Yager is really getting good at making that wrist shot up high to the far post. It went off the shoulder of Cheveldae, and he had no chance on the rebound.
Goal number 9 for Mario Lemieux to tie Kevin Stevens to the league lead in that department. And it is a power play goal. It comes at 17:02. Just 2 seconds before the penalty was to expire. And the Penguins cash in on their only attempt on the power play, and they lead 2-0 here against the Red Wings. Yager up that right wing. Yager working with it, going to Ronnie Francis. Backdoor pass behind him, but he's too well covered by Nicholas Lidstrom. Ulf Samuelsson put it near corner. Now Francis centers, and it came off one of the Red Wings. And the Penguins take control of it again. Here's a shot by McEachran, and a good save by Cheveldae. And he smothers that and holds on. The Penguins again are alive around that hive. They are coming on strong here against Detroit. 2:31 left. Lemieux from Yager and Stevens.
Now McEachran out here on the left wing. Earlier he was playing center. His versatility a big factor. He played center most of training camp and said he took a little while to get used to playing the left wing. Of course, he was playing the right wing at the end of last season in the playoffs quite a bit. And he teed it up this time, a low shot. Cheveldae going down to make the save and just getting out and covering up that rebound.
McEachran second only to Timo Solani of Winnipeg, and goal scored as a rookie. Solani has 7, McEachran with 5. On to action again at center. In the scoring race, Solani has 11 points, and McEachran with 9, tied with Joe Juneau of Boston, Kabalenko of Quebec. Here's the play around the Detroit goal again, and pushed aside to the left wing. Mario Lemieux scoring his 9th goal of the year. The Penguins have scored their 15th power play goal already of the young season. And McEachran again leads the rush back. Leaving the puck for Yager. Steps his way into the Detroit zone. Around to the near wing. Turns around and pulls the trigger, and it's off the leg. One thing in talking to Rick Keogh about Jaromir Yager, he said this year he is noticing, and he's worked with him, you know, the last couple of campaigns. We talked about the great wrist shot that he had. And the play has stopped, the puck's out of action. But he was talking about watching how he's starting to shoot further out. He's not making that extra move coming in.
True.
He's starting to come out the top of the circle and 25 to 35 feet out, where Ricky was so great at doing it and just really freeze the goaltender.
Well, you have a better chance of finding more net from out there, because a goaltender, if you're coming with speed, he's got to take the angle away from you, and there's a chance that you're going to catch him in between, where he's not out far enough to really take a lot of the net away on the angle. And you've got more net to work with. If you can get it, blow it by him, then you're going to have a good chance of doing it. And Yager, you're right, Mike, has been taking shots from a lot further out, top of the circle. And he's taking that whipping wrist shot that he can take, and he's placing it well. He's getting it in the spots where you have to get it if you want to score goals.
Boy, and as fast as he can be, you just saw how terrific, how tremendous Lemieux could be with his hands. You know, how fast he got that rebound in. Cheveldae had no prayer at all. I mean, he just blew it by him before he could even get a chance to react. Here's the left point shot by the Red Wings, and that's denied by Barrasso as Ogrodnik got a stick on that deflection. It comes on to center ice. Loney of the Penguins looks for a pass, but it does not hit his stick, and the Red Wings counterattack. They give it away to Mike Needham. Needham in the pants to Troy Loney. Goes the off wing right side into Detroit territory, and Konstantinov right on him. Konstantinov is a good, hard-hitting, solid defenseman for the Red Wings in their second year now with Detroit. And a penalty coming up here. Going to be a roughing call. Konstantinov and Loney get involved. Let's see if both men are going to be sent off. Apparently they will be. Konstantinov is a no-nonsense guy.
He's nasty.
Yeah, and he comes to play and play hard. And Loney of the Penguins, I think you could say he would be a similar type player, maybe not quite as aggressive as Konstantinov would be. Konstantinov is a type of player, and you know, you have to see more of him. We only see him 3 times a year. That it looked to me that you might be able to get him into a situation where he would take penalties. And if you can do that, particularly at playoff time, you have an advantage against certain players.
Loney's going to go to the locker room. So is Konstantinov. He's going to go in and sit down and rest in there instead of in the penalty box. Konstantinov, Mike, is dirty, I would say. I think that might be a good word to use. He's even known to take some shots at people when the referee's not looking, and he's a guy that other players don't like to play against. We'll put him in a category, you would say, with Ulf Samuelsson.
And a few others around the National Hockey League.
The kind of guy you love when he's on your team, and you hate him when he's on the opposition.
Markow pulling back into his own end. And the puck to Steve Chason, and Yzerman now leads the parade back, and he'll wrist it up to the left wing corner of the Penguins end. Murphy gives the puck to Mario Lemieux, who has scored in the 8th straight game. Settled in back into the Penguin zone, and Ulf Samuelsson wants to find Lemieux. He'll tap it to the Red Wings in, and Chevrolet comes way out of that to play it away to the right point, though Murphy has it, put it in front, deflected in by Lemieux again. I believe Mario got the stick on it. The Penguins lead 3-0. Now buy Sam a drink and get his dog one, too. I believe Lemieux got the stick on it. He and Stevens were both there, but I think Lemieux will get his 10th, and the Penguins get a 3-0 lead with a big goal late in the first period. Is it Stevens or Lemieux? It might be Kevin. They're both there. Murphy at the right side. He shot it and deflected in. Mario sticks there. Stevens is there also. It might have hit both of them. In that case, if it hit Stevens' stick last, it would be his goal. And the way Lemieux reacted, I think it's going to be his. It is Lemieux. Here's Lidstrom now. Setting up shot. Throw it around to the near quarter. So the Penguins have built a 3-0 lead here against the Detroit Red Wings. They have been flying to the first period. Lidstrom with a booming shot. And that's stopped. Back again to the left point. Chason shot. Deflected in front. And the Penguins, with 17 seconds to go, trying to keep the Red Wings away from that net. It goes far corner, and they'll freeze it there. We'll get a face-off here to the right of goaltender Tom Barrasso as Ulf Samuelsson and Keith Primo get involved with one another. Well, Lemieux has scored 2 goals to take the lead now in the NHL goal-scoring derby. On a deflection, he just beats you every which way there is. Every which way. Murphy shot it, and down low, it hit the stick of that player, Yzerman, but right in front. The deflection, and in it went. 19:16, the time of the goal. They might make that 19:17, though. I'm not. There were 44-point-something seconds. We'll double check it. It's in the last minute of play, however, and the Penguins lead 3-0. They led 4-1 against Vancouver on Tuesday night. This Penguin team right now is just unstoppable at the moment. Nothing slowing them down. Barrasso winding around with a second to go, and the Penguins enjoy a big first period. Detroit has been a strong team the first period all year long. That's where they've won a lot of their games. In this first period, though, it's the Penguins who dominate. They scored 3 times, and they lead at the end of 1. Pittsburgh 3 and Detroit 0 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
When Dave Thomas created Wendy's new spicy chicken filet sandwich, he said, if we're going to make it spicy,
well, it's a start.
Let's really make it spicy.
Now we're getting closer.
So he seasoned a whole chicken breast filet by adding his own special blend of pepper and spices. And he kept on seasoning until it was perfect.
Bingo.
Come and try Wendy's new spicy chicken filet sandwich, because
when you're hot, you're hot.
Has the simple joy of driving become a casualty of the times? Introducing 200 turbocharged horses. Uncanny grace. And one of the safest cars Saab has ever built. The new 9000 CSE. A car you can drive hard with your conscience intact.
See your Saab dealer now for a special introductory offer on the 9000 CSE and CS.
Just because you're 6'3" or weigh 225 pounds, you don't have to shop at a men's store where the clothes don't fit or look like they came out of some sort of time warp. Each of the Coach House stores has a special department for big and tall men, guided by a simple philosophy. Give the big and tall man the same selection, quality, style, and professional services all Coach House customers enjoy. 6 convenient locations. Big and tall men, try the Coach House. No one suits you better.
Lots of credit cards will give you a cash advance, but there could be a catch. Interest charges. Some credit cards charge them from day one, which is why you should use the Discover card. Pay your full monthly balance and a small transaction fee, and we'll give you a cash advance interest-free. How does that grab you? It pays to Discover.
Well, the Penguins off and rolling again against Detroit, and in the first period, the goal scoring. Dave Tippett, number 1, from Mike Stapleton and Paul Stanton. At 7:54, Mario Lemieux, the first of 2 at 17:02 on a power play goal from Yager and Stevens on a rebound play. And then in our Discover card scoring summary, Lemieux is 10th at 19:15 from Larry Murphy. Penguins outshot Detroit 13-10 in the opening period. And frankly, Detroit had 10 shots, but not a lot of real tough shots against Barrasso in that opening 20 minutes. The Penguins certainly had the better of the scoring chances, and they were able to convert against Tim Cheveldae. All right, Paul Steigerwald is standing by downstairs with one of my all-time favorite Penguin players. As I mentioned tonight, pound for pound, as tough as they come, and that's John Pronovost. Paul?
Thank you, Mike. This interview is brought to you by Mellon Bank, where loan and savings can qualify you for the Smart Account. And with us is John Pronovost, who really made the Penguins go in the late 60s and 70s and played more games in a Penguin uniform than any other player in the history of the franchise. Was honored today as the charter member of the Penguins Hall of Fame, along with Rick Kehoe and Bob Johnson. And John, I know that you're very honored, and I wondered how you felt about that ovation when you walked onto the ice and they gave you the standing ovation. Obviously, the fans didn't forget.
Well, it's great. I mean, as a hockey player or as an athlete, you like to be recognized for either what you're doing or what you've done. So I think it was I humbly accepted this kind of a standing ovation. So it kind of moved me. I'm not usually an emotional person, but I had to kind of step back and take a few deep breaths and then go and talk to the people. But it moved me a little bit.
Did you start thinking about some of the great moments of your career here in Pittsburgh? I know your teams weren't always great, but you did have a couple of great years, and of course you had some great seasons as a part of that team.
Well, we were inconsistent, but I think it was due to the fact that the whole organization was inconsistent. You know, I think that because at the time, I know that through the 10 years that I was here, I went through 3 different ownership, and and I think it affected us on the ice because you know, whether you want it or not, you let these things bother you, and you don't mean to. Excuse me, but they affect you, and it's too bad. But I looked at it as a you know, before you walk or before you run, you got to crawl. And I think these were the crawling years, and now the result is they're getting it right now. And I think that they're you know, we can really talk, like I mentioned the word dynasty tonight, and I think we can really mention the word dynasty because they have a tremendous team.
Sean, your brother Marcel played in the league. I read where he was 16 years your senior, which is amazing. There's another situation like that right now in the NHL with Gilbert Dion, his brother Marcel, much older than he was. But when you came into the league, even though he had paved a way for you, it wasn't easy for you to get into the National Hockey League, was it?
Not really, because even though you have a brother that plays there, you still have to prove, you know. And I think that I was given the opportunity. That's why I thank Mr. Riley and Mr. Sullivan today, because they believed in me and they gave me the opportunity. And I think the timing was right. You know, I came to an organization where they were in transition. They were going from an older team and trying to blend it with younger players. And I was 21 years old, and I wanted to play in the NHL, so the timing was right.
And I would assume that, you know, inviting yourself to training camp is one of those things that probably you laugh about now as you're doing right this minute, but that's a pretty amazing story. You invited yourself to camp with the Bruins?
I was a pretty stubborn young man, and my second season in junior, I didn't have a good season. And when I ended up not, you know, being invited to the Boston camp, I said, hey, I'm going to show these guys. I showed up my luggage in the lobby, and they didn't have a name on the list, but Milt Schmidt did me a favor, and they kept me for a week, and then they sent me to Oklahoma City, and the rest is history.
And they did the Penguins a big favor when they allowed Jean Pronovost to go to Pittsburgh from Oklahoma City. And congratulations, Jean, on your induction today, and it's great to see you again.
It's a great honor. Thank you very much.
Number 19 of the Penguins, Jean Pronovost. And I think Mike Lang will tell you the story before this broadcast is over about the greatest goal he has ever seen scored by a Penguin. And all the great goals that we've seen in the last couple of years from Lemieux and so on, he says still the greatest goal he's ever seen was one scored by Jean Pronovost, and I know he'll be happy to tell you the story before this broadcast is over. We'll be back to the Civic Arena in just a moment with the Penguins leading the Red Wings 3-0 already on the Penguins Hockey Network.
It flies in a way nobody I know has ever been able to explain. Every day I go into my workshop, and then I go outside, and I spend 4 or 5 hours just looking at the sky. I've flown over palaces. And once a man came out, and he came up to me and he said, you know, you've brought a lot of pleasure to a lot of people.
At Mellon, you're why we do our very best.
What? No dip?
For a really great Halloween, pick up tons of Pepsi and Doritos.
Hi, I'm Troy Loney. Fan loyalty played a major role in the Pittsburgh Penguins winning the Stanley Cup Championship. This same kind of loyalty is why Carriage Limousine Service is the #1 transportation company in Pittsburgh. Carriage Limousine is dedicated to detail and is obsessed with customer service and customer satisfaction. Being #1 requires the constant pursuit of excellence. Ride with the winner, Carriage Limousine, 488-7000.
The biggest con game of all? Ernie Priate won't sign a pledge to finish out his term as Attorney General. Before he's even been re-elected, Priate is already planning to run for governor in 1994. But what else would you expect from a career politician like Ernie Priate, who spends his time headline grabbing and grandstanding? The question is, why would we want to vote for someone who doesn't even want to finish the job? Let's not. This year, Joe Cohn, Democrat for Attorney General.
Well, the Penguins score, and so does Paul Kanovich of Weirton, West Virginia. And he will win 3 $50 gift certificates from Giant Eagle. Our congratulations to you, Paul. Hey, the Penguins are giving away some good prizes here in the early going. And a reminder to you that all this month at Sears Brand Central, you can register to win Penguins hockey tickets and an autographed hockey stick from Mario Lemieux. Details at Sears Brand Central. Stop on by, and of course they've got that contest going too about the Penguins shutting out an opponent. That would have been a nice night tonight. We'd have had a winner tonight, but we will have those entries in shortly, and we want to invite you to be sure and do that. Now, Simmons Business Systems, of course, donates $15 for every Penguin goal scored by the Penguins this year. And they, of course, have Konica, recognized as the manufacturer of the year by the National Machines Dealers Association with a goal scored tonight by the Penguins. Simmons Business Systems has donated $485 to Make-A-Wish. And this reminder, great seats are still available for both Pens home games coming up November 3rd when the Penguins meet the Islanders, and Thursday the 5th of November when the Penguins host the St. Louis Blues. We'll return to the Civic Arena momentarily. Pittsburgh leading this hockey game 3-0 over Detroit on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Would you believe Giant Eagle's fresh produce selection just got even fresher? It's true. That's because we're restocking it more often. You see, now that Giant Eagle's lowered the price on over 2,000 items you use most, more people are coming into Giant Eagle, and they're buying more produce. That means we have to restock our produce more often. For you, it means you get the freshest fruits and vegetables around. Giant Eagle. A lot you can feel good about. Especially the produce.
Sweetheart! Your first big snow, Joey. Here he comes.
Joey doesn't care that inside is the world's most energy-efficient furnace.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Or that Carrier can save up to 40% annually on heating.
Look at him. He loves it.
All he cares about is how warm and comfy Carrier keeps it inside.
Joe?
If you care about energy efficiency and saving money, call your Carrier dealer.
Turn the knob, Joey.
Carrier, we're the inside guys.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a new face on the team. Remember all the great action of the last 2 Stanley Cups with your Penguins 1992 commemorative yearbook, available through the mail. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Do it again.
Introducing the new minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Shop the widest range of models and options with savings on America's most popular minivans, like Grand Voyager with extra room, greater versatility, added comfort and safety. Grand Voyager is the minivan for families with growing needs. If you're looking for a minivan, any minivan, first see the experts who sold over 3 million. The Minivan Store.
Chrysler Plymouth is the official team car of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, it's the Penguins leading the Red Wings 3-0.
And on the USA out-of-town scoreboard, Hartford leading the Ottawa Senators. Nick Kyprios has scored for Hartford. Vancouver ahead of Philadelphia 2-1. Yuskevich for the Flyers, and Sandlack and Courtnall scoring for Vancouver. And Toronto leads Tampa Bay 3-1 now in the second period. Bradley, the goal scorer for Tampa Bay, Brian Bradley, but Pearson, Clark, and Borchevsky. Boy, he's off to a great start. Borchevsky, the Russian, his 6th of the year. Minnesota leading Quebec 1-0. Mike Craig has scored for the Minnesota North Stars over Quebec. And the other game, Jersey at Chicago, no score in that contest between the Blackhawks and Jersey. We are back at the Civic Arena. Pens lead 3-0 over Detroit, and reminding you that
Hagen Ice Cream and Pittsburgh's great ice team. You couldn't ask for more. Now Hagen Ice Cream and the Penguins are celebrating the back-to-back championship with a new commemorative 5-quart tub featuring the Penguins' new logo. While supplies last, Hagen is offering a limited edition 11x14 signed Stanley Cup team picture. And this full-color picture offer is available only on the inside of Hagen's new Penguins 5-quart tub. Head to your grocer's freezer and don't be left out in the cold. And there's the tub.
5-quart.
5-quart tub.
That's as big as you.
I know. A lot of ice cream.
Holland won a stagger. Let's get a stagger wall. Put him over here. Get him from the store over your shoulder.
I'll be on the inside of the tub.
We'll be back. Pens 3, Detroit 0. They don't have a tub big enough for me on the Penguins Hockey Network.
In my beer commercial, it's the weekend, and I'm in the usual situation. His Majesty's just sitting there while I'm working away.
Turn it off, I can't hear the TV.
But then, presto.
Here, honey, here's your icy light.
Weren't you going to pour it for me?
Yes, dear.
It's the old role reversal. Now this is a weekend.
Icy Light, the light beer with a unique Pittsburgh ingredient. Taste.
It's a Berg thing.
When Cellular One set out to build a superior cellular phone network, the landscape threw us some curves. So we designed a system so powerful, so well planned, you get extraordinary clarity in the country and in the city. Cellular One, a superior cellular network represented by a superior agent network. Advanced Telecom, now offering demo phones at no hardware cost. Free phones from Advanced Telecom on the Cellular One network. Advanced Telecom, Cellular One's Agent of the Year.
Hello, I'm Dewey from Dewey's Auto Body. I would like to invite old and new friends to try our services. We touch up scratches, repair wrecks, and refinish complete cars. We offer towing, estimates, consultation, and written warranty at no charge. A free replacement car is often available. Our staff is trained and dedicated to turn your unhappy situation into a pleasant experience. Give us an opportunity and discover that for over 30 years, integrity, quality, and personal care still exists at Dewey's Auto Body.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is being brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. For quality, value, and the best deal going, see your Toyota dealer today. By Xerox Antifreeze Coolant. The temperature never drops below Xerox. By RCA, the people who introduced television now proudly present the RCA Home Theater TV. By the All-Star Jeep and Eagle dealers. Stop in and test drive a new Jeep Grand Cherokee today. And by Sears Brand Central, the brands you want at the stores you trust.
Dave Tippett unleashed the Penguin attack in the first period at 7:54 with his first of the campaign from Stapleton and Stanton. And a shot that deflected off a stick and then rolled right through Chevelday to give the Penguins the early lead, 1-0.
Kevin Stevens, Mike, rolling again. Skating with such authority, hanging onto that puck with one hand. Getting better, I think, at handling the biscuit at top speed. Moved it to Yager. He took the shot, and Lemieux hammered in the rebound to make it 2-0. Lemieux's 9th of the year at 17:02. And I missed this one, Mike. I was on my way downstairs.
Well, Lemieux just got the stick on it to deflect it home. Murphy did a good job of waiting until they could get in position. Both Stevens and Lemieux were there, and that was a 4-on-4 goal for the Penguins. They might get a lot of goals this year with the talent that they have in that situation. Remember, they've taken away with the coincidental minors where they stay at equal strength at 5-a-side, not including the goaltenders. Now it goes to, when minor penalties are called coincidentally, to a 4-on-4 again, as they did prior to the mid-'80s. And the puck lifted to the Penguins' end. Detroit looking to get back and get into this game in a hurry. The Penguins up by 3, and Stevens of the Penguins carries it up. Lost control of it now to Steve Chason. And the Red Wing defenseman bounce it up into Penguin real estate. Barasso's going to step out in the early going, the first minutes of play. Barasso was stunned on a play by Dino Ciccarelli, but he's recovered nicely and appears to be all right. Here's Stevens cruising back into the right side of the Detroit zone. Pulls back Chason. Poke checked it away. Lemieux after that biscuit and pulls it in. And Mario just glides along the ice. He just appears to be in total control right now whenever he wants to turn it on. And here he goes into the Detroit zone. A wrist shot and blocked by Yves Racine. He just kind of, dummies that play, Paul, back and forth, changes speeds and moves around. And then all of a sudden he'll just burst in to make a play. And he'll leave people just really flat-footed and dumbfounded when he's working with that puck.
He's fluid right now. He's just got that acceleration, and it looks like effortless skating out there for Lemieux, and he's going at top speed. He was flying down the left wing here, and Racine just got in position in time to get the stick down and deflect the shot up over the glass.
You were talking about brothers with during the TV side of our break with John Pronovo, inducted tonight into the Penguins Hall of Fame. We were talking about brother combinations. I see where another brother is playing, former Penguin Mark Recchi in Philadelphia. His brother Matt is playing in the East Coast Hockey League, which includes the Wheeling Thunderbirds. And had a chance to watch a little of their game the other night, but he is playing in that league. And the Thunderbirds are going great guns, boy. They've done a tremendous job. They have a big crowd, and the folks are into it, and they're enjoying hockey down in Wheeling. They've done it on short notice, too, and they ought to be congratulated. Those fans are great hockey fans down that way. And we'll be more so now, I think, with their own team and a chance to see some action. Here's Yager down the left wing, coming back into the Detroit zone. Makes a little move on Lidstrom, comes around. He can't pull the trigger as he's held up, trying to get to the net. Lidstrom recovered nicely to get Yager away from that puck and not allow him to shoot it. McEachran steps into McCrimmon off the left side. Ball stand of the Penguins controls the puck, Detroit zone. Then McEachran looks in front. He goes right to the Chevalier off his glove, and he holds it. He hit that with his glove. He's trying to cut up those cross goal mouth passes. The Penguins are so dangerous with them. And Chevalier very alertly reached up with that glove and pulled it in and held on.
Yager's looking at the referee right now, Mark Hossett. I think he felt there should have been a penalty on Nicholas Lidstrom. Yager doesn't say much to the referees. He made an unbelievable move on Lidstrom to the inside, pulling that puck to the inside, a tremendous balance that he has. And then Lidstrom just grabbed hold of him and held him up so that he couldn't turn it over to the backhand. And then McEachran coming down and firing one from a sharp angle, and Chevalier reached out with a glove and cut it off at the pass before Francis might be able to get to it, cutting towards the net.
It's hard to believe anybody's playing with more confidence than Mario Lemieux right now and Kevin Stevens and the like, but Sean McEachran is just an inspired hockey player at the moment for the Penguins. And he is playing some kind of hockey. And on the attack of the Red Wings, and here is Mark Howe delivering the puck into the Penguins' end from behind the net. Dallas Drake, who played a good, strong game against the Penguins in an exhibition game here. Loose around that goal. Brasso didn't see it. It's still loose. Poked in. Dallas Drake gets that goal, I believe. He and Ogrodnik were right around that net. But the Red Wings have scored as the Penguins could not find the loose biscuit in around that goal. And Detroit takes advantage of it, and they ram it in, and they make it 3-1. That's a big goal by Detroit, Paul. It gets them into the game again just a minute and 54 seconds into period number 2.
And Dallas Drake just had a couple of goals the other night against the Winnipeg Jets. So he's starting to find the range. Barrasso looking the wrong way, allowed that puck to get out into the goal mouth in the first place. He was looking the wrong way. Murphy was in there trying to help out the goaltender, but it appeared to be Drake who got a stick on it and poke it into the net.
Well, Dallas Drake is cashed in his 3rd of the year. No, he's going to give it to Jimmy Carson. Howe and Drake get assist on the goal. Jimmy Carson gets his 3rd. We've got an icing call against Detroit, so they give the goal to Jimmy Carson. Both Carson and Drake reached in with the sticks, as we saw on the TV side, to try and get a piece of it.
Mario just couldn't clear it out. He and Murphy both were trying to clear it, and I think they prevented each other from doing so.
Yeah, it was Carson. He did get the stick in there before Drake did. He was right behind him, though. If he had knocked it in, Drake would have been there. All Jimmy Carson does to score goals.
That's a classic case, Mike, of everybody fishing for the puck. Now, defensive players a lot of times are asked to take the body in those situations to clear people away. Penguins looking for the puck, and Carson found it first and put it in.
Well, the Pens could not find it even from the play behind the net. Barrasso just could not get a handle on it and get side of it, and it ended up in the Penguin net. So it's a 3-1 Penguin lead right now here in the second period. And the Red Wings trying to gain some momentum here. They're down by a pair. Certainly much easier than being down 3-0. That makes common sense, but it gives them a lift, I think, in this period. Bob Probert down the right wing against Jimmy Pack. Probert to the Red Wings. His pass intercepted by Rick Tocchet. Trying to give it to Lemieux, but intercepted by Konstantinov, the Detroit defenseman. On to Mike Sillinger. Sillinger, another first-round draft choice of the Red Wings out of Regina. He played his junior hockey, and Jimmy Pack takes control of the puck. Tried to flip it outside the line. He did, but the Red Wings had a bounce off Cicerelli into the zone with the Red Wings trapped inside. And we get an offside play against Detroit.
Sillinger played with Eric Lindros on the Canadiens' World Junior Championship gold medal winning team. Last year, after winning the gold medal as a junior player, went right into Adirondack, the farm team of the Red Wings, and won the Calder Trophy, or Cup, I should say. The Calder Cup is the championship team in the American Hockey League. So he's accustomed to winning already.
Obviously, with a name like Chevrolet, you might expect his nickname would be Chevy, and that's what it is. Saw that on the back of the helmet on the TV side of our simulcast. And the Penguins force it up into Detroit territory. Bounced around the boards, and this will be the length of the ice again. Barrasso, though, is going to play the puck with an oncoming Red Wing and just deals it back to center. Yves Racine. In the first period, the Red Wings shot long on Barrasso. A lot of long-range shots. Weren't very successful. Didn't get too many rebounds. Their only goal came in a scramble around the Penguin net. Lifted back into the Penguins' far corner. Paul Stanton relays the puck again off the boards, but not out. Ulf Samuelsson trying to get it to Needham. It's intercepted by the Wings. They have it. Yzerman moves in. His drop pass picked up by Cicerelli. Oh, what a blast he put on, but it missed the net. Dino Cicerelli can fire it. And he put a cannon of a shot towards the Penguin goal, but it hit the boards behind Barrasso. That might have gone through the net if it had hit it.
Red Wings are regrouping well in the neutral zone, Mike. They're doing a good job now of turning the puck over back towards the Penguin zone as the Penguins try to bring it out. They're trapping them in that neutral zone.
Stapleton. That's a Brian Murray trademark, too. A little different look, and they adjust very well. Here's Yzerman on the right side coming to the Penguin zone. Yzerman turned around by Shel Samuelsson. Got it to Primo, and Primo up and behind the net. That goal by the Red Wings has given them new life, and they're coming on right now, and a penalty will be called here. A high sticking call. Dino Cicerelli was involved, but I think the Penguins will be the guilty team, and we'll return. It is 3-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
In the last 3 years, over 100 appliance and electronic stores have closed their doors. At the same time, one store has grown to become America's largest, with the top name brands, nationwide service, and 100 years of trust. Brand Central at Sears, where you get the brands you want at the store you trust.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a new face on the team. Remember all the great action of the last 2 Stanley Cups with your Penguins 1992 commemorative yearbook, available through the mail. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Do it again.
Mike Stapleton goes off for high sticking. Cicerelli working behind the net. Stapleton reached in with his stick. Caught a piece of him as he went by, and he was being checked at the time himself. Now he sits down, and the Red Wings back to work on a power play.
Right point of the Penguins end, and the Red Wings. Lidstrom now handles it left point. And wrist it towards the net. It hit a leg and comes to Ronnie Francis, and he'll whip it up the sideboards and onto Detroit territory. This is power play chance number 3 for the Detroit Red Wings. Penguins lead 3-1 here in the second, and Mark Howe. He's got pretty good wheels, doesn't he? Coming to the Penguins end, but had a poke checked away. It comes right to Cicerelli. Throw it over to Yzerman. Yzerman hopping right now. He's moving. In the far corner, Ronnie Francis, though, gets the puck, and he swings it by his own teammate, Mario Lemieux, and on down to Detroit territory. Chevrolet will leave the puck for Lidstrom.
Approach the 15-minute mark. Time left here in the second period. 1:13 now left in the Stapleton Minor. Into the Penguins in. Barrasso softly sent it over to the corner for Ulf Samuelsson. He'll whack it around to the far point. Kept in, though, by the Red Wings. Grodnick right side to Yzerman. Yzerman trying to get it by Ulf Samuelsson. Flip it right in front of him. Barrasso now. Mark Howell tries to shoot it, and Lemieux comes to challenge again to knock it away. I think what impressed me so much the other night, the Penguins were leading in that game against Vancouver, shorthanded by 2 men, and we saw Lemieux out there really just giving every ounce of energy he had in a situation when the Penguins were shorthanded by 2 men. And that's how inspired he is right now.
Barrasso mentioned after the game, he said, we really were played a game tonight as if we were committed to winning, similar to the playoffs, the way we were diving around in our own zone and so on. And he noticed it in goal that the Penguins were playing that way in front of him.
And we've got a penalty coming up here against Detroit. What is it, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty? Dino Ciccarelli is going to get the call. And the penalty comes at 5:13. So the Red Wings, who had some momentum going, now will have that negated a bit. And Ciccarelli evens things up. 58 seconds to go on the Stapleton penalty, and when his penalty expires, it'll be a minor to Ciccarelli. And give the Penguins a power play.
Ciccarelli really upset with the officials right now. Ciccarelli was in the crease. Ulf Samuelsson just crunched him in the back with a stick, and Ciccarelli must have taken exception to that and yelled at the referee Fawcett and wanted a penalty and didn't get it. And I think he had a legitimate beef that the penalty was not called on Ulfie, but well,
at least you think that Ciccarelli won't be back around that net. Forget it. He will be.
And those two had an unbelievable battle going last year in the first 4 games of the playoffs in that series between the Penguins and Capitals. And it wasn't until the Penguins went back to putting Bob Airey on Dino Ciccarelli, and they really kind of pleaded with Ulf Samuelsson to cool it. And Samuelsson never took another penalty. I think he had 2 more minutes in penalties, or maybe 4 total. In the entire rest of the playoffs, he had a ton in the first 4 games of that series. Ciccarelli was a guy that was bringing it out of him.
And Dino had a 4-goal game against the Penguins.
Right, too.
In the playoff series. That was the, what, 7-2 victory they had here to win Game 4.
Right.
And it looked as though, and everybody thought the Penguins were all done. Here's Yzerman cutting back into the Penguins, and a backhand shot towards Barrasso, but the Penguins turned it around from that point on, and then went on to win 3 straight and win that series. And then the rest is history, of course. The Stanley Cup coming back to Pittsburgh. Fedorov out here 4-on-4 hockey with Yzerman. In 25 seconds, the Penguins Stapleton will come on. The Penguins will get a power play, but Lemieux working out here with Stevens. Shot back towards the Penguin net. Blocked away, picked up now by Racine. He shoots and scores. It might have been deflected by Yzerman, and the Red Wings get a goal to make it 3-2. Racine fired it. Yzerman cut in front, and I believe he may have touched it on the way in. And just like that, the Red Wings are within 1 in this hockey game.
And Lemieux's upset with himself right now, because you remember he was trying to beat Yzerman coming out of his own end instead of just maybe dumping the puck up ice. But Mario is going to do that. I mean, that's just what he's so confident in doing. And Yzerman made a good play to strip him. And it came back around in behind the net and out to Racine, and he really gunned this shot back to the net. Fedorov and Chason getting assists on the goal by Yves Racine.
Well, I'm going to ask the referee, Mark Fawcett, a little favor. If he'd do me a favor, and instead of pointing at Yzerman as he did and led you believe that he had the goal, apparently he was pointing to the net. Usually when referees point at players, that means that they've scored the goal. But that was not the case. Racine gets it from long range. We knew it was in the net. The light was on. You're going to do that. Let us know who did it. Here's Lemieux back into the Detroit zone. Slap shot. A good stop made by Chevalier. Lemieux with 2 of the 3 Penguin goals. Looking for the HT. And off the wood and back down into Pittsburgh territory. Mario Lemieux has 27 hat tricks in his National Hockey League career. But the last 2 years during the regular season, he's had only 1 per year. That's been it. Yager now going to Lemieux. Lemieux steps in around to Yager. Shoots and scores. Jaromir Yager beats Chevalier like a rented mule. He doesn't know whether to cry or wind his watch right now. Lemieux just held that puck, found Yager into an open net. Penguins get it right back.
I'll tell you what, there's another example of Jágr shooting from pretty far away from the net. He was not right in there tight. He got rid of it in a hurry. Penguins are shooting more this year, I think, than they have in the last couple of years, too. They seem to be getting the puck to the net more. Lemieux waited and waited and laid it over there for Jágr. Look at that shot by Jágr. And there was Stevens running interference in front of the net. Cheveldae was way out challenging Lemieux. He didn't have a prayer to get back and stop that shot by Jágr.
Jágr is fifth. I'll tell you, you almost feel for Cheveldae when he has to face Lemieux like he does. He just stopped him earlier, and he's running crazy again tonight. Mario picks up another assist. He now has 3 points in the game again. And I can feel for Cheveldae. I mean, he's saying, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me one-on-one. But then Mario just pulls back and flips it over perfectly to Jágr 35 feet away. And right on his stick, I mean, an open net. There aren't a whole lot of players that can make that pass with the speed and the agility that Lemieux has to just put it right on his blade to make it happen. Well, the Penguins now lead 4-2. The Red Wings coming right back, however. Penguins led 3-0 at the end of one. Now a 4-2 game, and Jaromir stepping back up, and a poke checked away, and it goes back into Penguin ice. 12:37 left here in the second. Penguins 4, Detroit 2. Jágr's pass, trying to get it through to Francis, can't do it. Jaromir will try again. And sends it up the left side off the stick of McEachran. Claims it's one of the wings, but it'll be outside of the line anyway for a face-off. Ron Francis has scored in every game so far. He has 11 points on the year, with the exception of this one. He hasn't been able to tally, so he has been a force for the Penguins, and he's put in a lot of time in this league.
And he's not too far away from 900 points in his career. He needs only 3 for that.
Played over 800 games now in the NHL.
Most with the Hartford Whalers. He owns just about every record in Hartford to this day.
Probert stepping up to play left wing here on the Sillinger line, and the right winger will be Sheldon Kennedy. Here come the wings. Probert's in front of the Penguin net. He shoots and beats Barrasso on the short side, and the Red Wings make it 4-3, and here they all come. Bob Probert gets a backhander by Barrasso. Tommy may have had a piece of that and just caromed off his glove, it appeared, and then off the post and in the net. So the Red Wings make it 4-3.
That's the beauty of the backhand shot, because Probert is traveling in one direction and kind of shoots his puck back in the other direction. And Barrasso really didn't play it all that well. He kind of knelt down and it went off him and into the net. He left some net open. Probably really didn't even need to go down on the shot. But give Probert credit for turning it over quickly, and it came through a pair of legs and went off Barrasso and into the net. He got rid of that puck right away as soon as he turned it over.
Sheldon Kennedy has the assist. Now a penalty coming up here. The penalty will be issued, a holding call, and it may be against the Penguins. Boy, oh boy, this game has just really been kind of crazy up and down. And it is Rick Tocchet who's the guilty party. We'll return in a moment. Red Wings have a power play, and they trail 4-3. We'll be back on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Just because you go all out, doesn't mean you got to stink. Now if you're wearing this, and here comes your chance to prove it. And you will, because Old Spice works. Man, does it work. Fights wetness, kills bacteria. The proof?
Hey, hotshot.
You're looking at her.
Old Spice antiperspirant for great odor protection. You demand proof, not promises.
Smart Buys at Giant Eagle, you save money 3 ways. For one, we've lowered the price on over 2,000 items you use most, like detergent, cereal, diapers, and more. Also, whenever Giant Eagle gets special savings from manufacturers, we pass them on to you, again, saving you money. And when it comes to pre-priced items, Giant Eagle automatically reprices them 10 to 25% less every day, so you save even more. At Giant Eagle, there's always a lot you can feel good about, especially the price.
Rick Tocchet gets 2 minutes for holding the stick. Tockett's bothered by that bad ankle or instep. It almost looks like it's right around the instep, you know, at the front of the ankle, if you will, top of the foot.
Said he hurt it in the last preseason game against Toronto, and he just hasn't been able to recover. The Red Wings go to work on their 4th power play opportunity. Left point Lidstrom of Detroit. Now a hockey game here that's really within range for the Red Wings. They trail 3-0, and they battle back to get back within 1. And Dino Ciccarelli behind the Penguin net, around to the near side to Steve Yzerman. Yzerman holding it, skates up the near wing. Stopping 45 feet from the net, goes over to Cicerelli, left wing corner, back to Yzerman to Detroit. Center point, they give it to Lidstrom, a heavy slap shot, stop. Here's Shell Samuelson knocking Cicerelli around in front of that goal. Dino trying to get in front of goaltender Barrasso, and he's right back in where we told you'd be. Here's left side Lidstrom going to Yzerman. Steve Yzerman, wheel and deal. And now Barrasso whacking to the ankles of Dino Cicerelli, trying to get him away with that goaltender's stick. Right in behind the Pittsburgh net. They battle for it. Shell Samuelson knocks down one of the wing. Yzerman, he's alive right now with Shell Samuelson on him. Left point to Lidstrom. A minute 10 to go on the penalty to the Penguins. And Rick Tocchet for holding the stick. Alf Samuelson takes the puck, and he get it out around the boards, and Markow's going to keep it alive. Into the corner now for John O'Gradick behind the Cicerelli. Moves it around to Yzerman. Lemieux and Francis penalty killing. Lidstrom with a heavy slap shot from the top of the circle, and Barrasso stops that. And here's Dino again down in front. He and Alf Samuelson banging away at one another. You got to love it. Opie and those guys aren't going anywhere. Neither is Dino Cicerelli. Some great action going on.
And now Lemieux steps in to say something to Fawcett.
I mean, they banged him, and they banged him, and they banged him. And Dino says, I'm still here, guys. Got great strength in his legs.
That's one of Opie's favorite moves there. I don't know if you saw that away from the play. Shell Samuelson took Dino right into the crossbar. There's a penalty for checking into the goal cage this year, too. A specific penalty in the rule book about that.
And Dino.
And you can see Opie giving John O'Grodnick a shot to the back of the head with his glove. That's one of his favorite moves. And the save by Barrasso.
54 seconds left in the penalty to Rick Tocchet. Vancouver and Philadelphia now second period. Lindros has scored his fifth to tie the game for the Flyers. You know, that wasn't half as bad as the way he was getting the work.
I think I know what Lemieux wanted. I think Lemieux wanted to dive on that. I think he wanted unsportsmanlike conduct.
I saw. I mean, Barrasso whacked him with a goaltender's stick, and whoever is next to him too really belted him hard. Toronto leads Tampa Bay now 4-1 in the second, and Hartford has a 4-0 lead over Ottawa in period number 2 at Ottawa. And New Jersey leads Chicago 1-0. Claude Lemieux with his second goal of the year. Here it's 4-3 Pittsburgh, and the Red Wings forced to their own end. Still a lot of time on this power play. 40 seconds, and chase on. Whistles it up in the Penguin real estate here to the near corner. Fedorov gets control of it for the Red Wings. Around the boards, and the horn to Steve Chason of Detroit. Stops right point. Left side pass to Racine of the Red Wings to Carson. Jimmy Carson turns a circling move now for Detroit. He has one of the 3 goals for the Red Wings. Racine right side looking for an open man. Has Chason back to Racine, center point, shoots it, blocked by Mike Stapleton and picked up by Tippett. He tried to clear, gets it back, and now will force it out of the zone. 9 seconds to go on the Pittsburgh penalty. Final rush in. Jimmy Carson to Bob Probert. Probert is tallied here in the second period. Work down the boards. He has 3 goals scored in the span of a minute 53. That's not unusual to Penguin fans. They've seen this club battle with other teams and explode both ways. There's a lot of goal scoring over the last few years. And Stanton has it. The penalty has expired. The Penguins are at equal strength, and here comes Tocchet back at a 3-on-2. He's fresh. Tocchet into the Detroit zone. Left side to Tippett. Tippett working it front, deflected by Tocchet. And stopped by Chevrolet. The rebound, Stapleton. Can't put it in. That Tocchet deflection, had it gone in, I don't know if it would have counted. He might have had a stick above his shoulder. And he made a nice play to knock it out of midair anyway. Here's Carson back for the Red Wings. The Fedorov, look out, a quick shot and a better save by Barrasso. Boy, Tommy just snared that one right out of the atmosphere to pull it in at the very last second. And Fedorov could cut loose with those shots, boy.
In another case of the puck going from right to left in front of Barrasso, and Fedorov's shot coming back to Barrasso's right. So he had to be really sharp to make that save. Tippett had taken a shot earlier. Tocchet did flag that puck down nicely as he went to the net. Chevrolet kept his eye on the puck, though, and Stapleton tried to push it underneath him into the goal. And then Fedorov was a quick release on the pass from Carson. He got rid of it. Bang! It was a little snapshot. Barrasso and set and got down and got that glove out to make the save on the short side. And Sergei Fedorov.
Left point, Lidstrom. Sneaking in behind the Penguin goal. Shell Samuelson trying to outmuscle Yzerman. Got it to Wolf. And the Penguin blue liner unable to clear. Now picked up now on the right side by Cicerelli. Dennis Stevens hasn't really been able to get on track here tonight for the Pens. Now they come bursting out. Lemieux, Stevens, and Tocchet. Left wing pass off the boards, and it goes through to the Detroit goal. Chevrolet trying to cover. Stevens put a stick in, knocked away. Here's Tocchet trying to take a pass from Lemieux. Knocked aside. Lemieux reaches in again, but he can't come up with it. And the Red Wings bank it off the wood and back to center red. And here is a shot by Alf Samuelson. Hit one of the linesmen and hurt him. So he tried to drive it down the boards. Detroit picks up the mail, and they bring it into the Penguins' end. Can't deliver to anybody, though. Lemieux steals. Mario going left wing to Kevin Stevens. And the big rugged winger who has 9 goals. Second now to Lemieux. Put it in front. Here comes on Lemieux. He can't get the shot off. Stevens takes over behind the net. Set up by Lemieux. Put it right in front, but Tocchet can't get it. Here's Stevens knocked down. Penalty coming up against the Red Wing. Yzerman pulled him down. Well, that's that big size advantage the Penguins have with Lemieux, Stevens, and Tocchet working in around that net, and they just kept the pressure on. We'll be back. The score, 4-3 Pittsburgh in the second. Penguins with a turkey back on the table on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Life's an adventure. The Discovery Channel. It's your world.
What? No dip?
For a really great Halloween, pick up tons of Pepsi and Doritos.
Steve Yzerman doesn't spend a lot of time in the penalty box. He had 155 points in the 88-89 season. He pulled down Stevens. Stevens and Lemieux just toying with that puck. Mario passed it to Stevens behind the net, then tried to get back out in front. He was being checked. Stevens was then tripped by Yzerman. The linesman, Pierre Champoux, trying to get out of the way and hit him right in the backside.
Well, he won't want to sit down tomorrow in any airplane, I can tell you that. Got him pretty good. 0 for 4 tonight of the... Well, that's not correct. Penguins are on the power play. And lifted back into Penguin territory. The Pens are 1 for 2 tonight. This is their third chance. Yzerman for tripping. Can't believe everything you see. Stevens coming up, going to the Detroit line. And trying to maintain possession, but he can, and it's on the left side. Over to Paul Yzerman. Yzerman races into the Penguins end, shorthanded to Mark Howe. Pokes it down the boards into the corner. Larry Murphy. And the Red Wings looking for a good penalty killing effort here with Fedorov. And Paul Yzerman trying to handle that up front. Penguins take it from behind the Detroit goal and center it, but it comes away, and Konstantinov and Francis whack one another with a stick as the puck comes back into Penguin ice. Good pass by Barrasso to Lemieux. Skates his way into the Detroit zone, goes to Jágr. Back to Mario. Behind the net, trying to turn it over. Konstantinov read that play nicely and wristed up ice. Detroit now getting stronger here, Paul. In this second period, they trail 4-3, and they need a big effort here to kill this power play.
And Ted Tishman of Pittsburgh has a chance to win $100 from Iron City Beer on this Penguin power play in our Iron Man Advantage contest.
Stevens with an outlet pass over to Rick Tocchet. Moves it over to Lemieux, trying to dart inside of the center. Instead to Stevens in front of Tocchet. Backhander. He shoots and scores. Rick Tocchet gets a power play goal, and the Penguins lead 5-3. Oh, he's smiling like a butcher's dog. Rick Tocchet. Boy, that line is tough. Lemieux and Stevens again set it up for Rick Tocchet.
And Tocchet just waved at that puck. He went to the net. Lemieux lost control of it for a moment, and Stevens was trailing the play, so he just picked it up, threw it over to Tocchet, and Tocchet just turned it over to the backhand, just kind of redirected that puck, just swept it into the net underneath Cheveldae. Tocchet made, I'll tell you what, Mike, that's twice we've seen Tocchet with good stick work as he's drifting towards the net. You know, earlier he took his eye off the net and was skating towards the goal and was able to knock the puck out of midair. This time, getting backwards into the slot area and able to get himself in position to release the shot on the backhand and score the goal.
So Rick Tocchet gets the goal, and the Penguins now have a 5-3 lead. 12:48 the time. The Red Wings were doing a good job in that penalty killing, but they just can't keep this big Penguin line off that board. Lemieux now has 4 points, folks. He now has 26 on the year. And lifted up over to the left point of the Detroit zone, and will go to Pack. Pack now lost possession of it, and they relay it up to center ice. Looking forward to number 2, Jim Pack again, on the right wing to Mike Needham. He's just going to loft it back into Detroit territory with 6:34 left here in the second period. Pittsburgh leading 5-3 over Detroit. And Back in deep on the play. Cuts behind the Detroit net. Taken out of the action by Chason. Daniels tried to pull it from behind and step out in front, but he couldn't do it. A penalty coming up. It'll be against Pittsburgh. As one of the wings, Chason, was hauled down. And Stanton will touch the puck, but the Penguins shorthanded once again. By the way, Tocchet is fourth from Lemieux and Stevens at 12:48. Now the Pens shorthanded on the Penguins Hockey Network.
It's the most innovative and exciting lineup in our history. Introducing Jeep and Eagle for 1993. See the technically advanced new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the sophisticated new Eagle Vision. Get a Cherokee Sport for less than you ever dreamed possible. Or jump into fun-loving Jeep Wrangler at a price like this. But whatever you do, don't miss the 93s at your Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
Advantage. All-Star Jeep and Eagle dealers.
Want to win millions? All you need is $2 to play Breeders' Cup Pick 7.
Got to take a chance. That's why you're here.
Pick the 7 winning horses at the Breeders' Cup on October 31st. It could be your $1 million day.
Pick 7 is just great.
It's terrific.
Everyone's playing Pick 7, and you can too. Here's where.
Come out and play at Ladbroke at the Meadows or any Ladbroke's off-track racing location. Saturday, October 31st. Our doors open at 10 a.m. with great racing all day long.
Pack sits down for tripping Chason. And actually, it was Jeff Daniels who tripped him.
Yeah, got this stick into him. I want to say hello to Annetta Adeline out in Castle Shannon. They tell me she's one of the best school guards in all of the Pittsburgh area. So, Netta, keep up the good work. My little bird tells me a lot of things. I know there's a few other people in town that have birds, but I understand Netta is one of the very best. Especially when the snow comes. Here's Lidstrom cutting his way into the Penguins' end. The Red Wings on power play chance number 5 here against the Penguins. And along the right wing boards. And shoot it down through the Pens up into Detroit territory. Markow trying to get it to Yzerman. Cross-ring pass to Lidstrom, who belts it back into the Penguin far corner. Alfsamus took a big check, made the play, though, and here comes Lemieux back shorthanded. Trying to turn Markow around, cuts between two defensemen, going, shooting. Oh, he just missed the net. Looking for the hat trick was Lemieux as he bursted right by 2 of the Detroit defensemen. Big play there by Mario, but he just couldn't find that far side, and he looked as though he had shoveled. They leaned in the wrong way, too, but he couldn't quite find the net. Here to the near wing, and the Penguins in. The Red Wings come right back. And Lemieux trying to reach in, try to get it out, couldn't. Left point, chase on a shot, deflected, and it bounces off everybody and wide of the goal. Cicerelli right back in there. He is something. And the right side, it goes over to Lidstrom, around to Yzerman. Stand around the right wing. You know, he's a very, I'll get to him in a minute. Cicerelli, here's Lemieux again, trying to drag it back into the Detroit zone. Carries it up the left side, stops, and goes back to get it at center. Lemieux has 4 points tonight, and again swings it inside the Detroit line.
That little move he made there to just dart out of the way. That burst, boy, that's Mario vintage Lemieux.
Here's Fedorov. He shoots it right between the legs of Barrasso. It rolled off his skates and in behind him, and it is 5-4. Fedorov came down that right wing. It's a power play goal by the Red Wings, and this game continues to have a lot of scoring. Fedorov. Look, as though he was just in slow motion, and Tommy just had to go between his legs.
Oh, man, is he dancing on his skates?
He was flying.
Fedorov. He was really coming, and he looked off for a second.
Hit a stick.
It hit a stick. Sure did. It hit Murphy's stick.
Yeah, but still Tommy had that little room open, and it just found that area. Just one of those freak goals where he didn't have much to work with, but he got it in there, and Fedorov gets the goal. And it's number 3 on the year for Fedorov.
Lemieux's rush against Mark Howe. Held Howe on him, so he kind of went to his right to an angle a little bit, and then he tried to shoot it back across the grain, and it just missed going in.
The Penguins have allowed a power play goal.
See, that looks like a bad goal from up here on Barrasso, but when you see it on the replay, you know that it wasn't. I mean, to the fans in this building, they have no idea that that hit a stick on the way in.
Robert trying to get up on the play. And that's picked off, and it goes to McEachran. McEachran moves it over to Kevin Stevens, and Stevens trying to drive it to the net. He can't do it. Probert is knocked down. Penalty coming up against the Penguins. Stevens, and Detroit's going to get another power play chance here. Sails into the Penguin goal. Barrasso plays it away from the net area. Kevin Stevens will be guilty of tripping here. And Pittsburgh once again is going to have the situation here where they are shorthanded by one man. It allows the opposition to work on the power play. 15:48 will be the time of the minor penalty to Kevin Stevens.
Robert took off with that puck. Stevens originally trying to play the puck, but then did not take the stick out of there, and he really was guilty of tripping Bob Probert. No question about that one. And Stevens shaking his head, but that was a trip. And Red Wings back to work on a power play. Mike, they keep knocking on the door, but as soon as they get there, the Penguins shut it on them again.
Well, I don't want to leave that door open too many times with a guy with a vacuum cleaner, believe me. Penguins led 3-0, and they've watched the Red Wings come back and make it a 5-4 game.
Well, we'll do this when we get an opportunity. We don't have time right now. We got that's the McDonald's McFan Club from Allegheny Valley School, and we'll talk about them in a moment.
Here's Chason to the Penguins in a slap shot. He's tied the game. Steve Chason drilling the puck by Barrasso, and his stick hand side had appeared, and a power play goal once again, and the Red Wings have a brand new hockey game. Boy, they had a big comeback here. Steve Chason, the goal scorer to make it 5-5. It's a power play goal. It didn't take long either. 15:55, 7 seconds after Stevens went off, Chason cashes in.
Good work by Fedorov on the draw, staying on Ronnie Francis, and Francis tried to clear it to Lemieux. The Penguins have been guilty of one thing tonight in the penalty killing. It's trying to think offense a little too much on their penalty killing rather than thinking of killing the penalty first. Francis was trying to find Lemieux busting out of the Pittsburgh zone rather than just getting the puck out at that point, and it was intercepted by Chason, and he fired it back into the net.
Well, that early goal by the Red Wings in the second period, as Jimmy Carson knocked it in, gave them new life, and now they have bounced back here to make it a 5-5 hockey game in the second period. This is a very strong team, the Detroit Red Wings, and you knew that the Penguins just could not continue to play at full strength the way they were going on all cylinders forever, and now they've had a little taste of it themselves and kind of falling down, and we've got a brand new hockey game. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. Keith Primo. Primo's pass right to Larry Murphy, and Murphy trying to direct it up into the Detroit zone. Stevens takes off wing, right side, stops now, looks for Lemieux. Mario's got 4 points on the night, but he's not going to be able to get to the puck. And it's scooped up by goaltender Tim Cheveldae right in front of the net. And he has possession with a face-off to take place in the Detroit end.
Tockage is going to the net. Brad McCrimmon pushed him out of the way. These two were teammates at Philadelphia. There's Tim Cheveldae. Mike Cheveldae played the first 38 games last year, played a total of 72. He had a record of 38, 23, and 9. And there have been some great goaltenders in the history of the Red Wings organization. Glenn Hall played a couple of seasons with the Red Wings, and he had 38 wins in a season, so Cheveldae tied his mark. Roger Crozier and Terry Sawchuk, two other all-time greats, had over 38 wins in a season, but Cheveldae very close to setting a new record for wins in a season by a Red Wing goaltender last year. And that's difficult to do in this day and age because there aren't a lot of goaltenders that are going to play 72 games in a season anymore, I'll tell you that.
Konstantinov after the draw, 3:11 to go in the second period. And if you joined us late, well, the Penguins led 3-0 at the end of one. And we're rolling right along. The Red Wings have bounced back, and they have scored 5 times here in the second, and it's a 5-5 hockey game. And here are the Wings again, and Probert in front. He turns to shoot. It was partially deflected. Penguins just a stunned boxer right now, trying to find themselves again. Francis moving up on the play, going left side to McEachran. McEachran overpowered on the play by Konstantinov, and the Red Wings are skating much more authoritatively here in the second period, and Yager trying to get possession. It's just like, let's all go for a dance here tonight. Put on the show, and the Penguins are answering the call now. We've got a 5-5 tie here with 2.5 left. The Red Wings sneak it up inside the Penguin line, but Pack and Murphy combine to bring it out. And Yager wants the biscuit. Over to the left side to Needham, back to Yager. He'll move in with that wrist shot, and he's starting to favor that wrist shot now. I tell you, this league is so smart in players. He'll come down and make that play. Here in the left side, Gallant with a steal, got a man open. Yzerman couldn't quite get to the passes. Yager, great defensive play there to tie up Yzerman. And back come the Penguins. Yager comes down and makes that wrist shot attempt every time. Those defensemen are so smart. It only takes them one time to learn, and then they're right there for you. So then you have to bury again. You have to keep continuously moving around, doing different things. And Yarmer's been good at that in his career. He just added his new weapon here to his arsenal. Here to the near corner, Loney goes back behind the Detroit goal, put it in front, and Stapleton tried to ram it in. That water bottle comes off the net. But the referee, Mark Bossett, says that the net is dislodged, and he wants a face-off to the right of Tim Shevelday. I'll tell you, both goaltenders right now are a little stunned. Barrasso and Shevelday. I mean, they're kind of looking. They're kind of bouncing around those nets.
Well, Shevelday's got hit in the back of the head by the crossbar because Troy Loney knocked the net forward on its moorings. And Mike, these goaltenders had to know they were going to be in for a night where they were going to see a lot of rubber. A lot of great skill players on both sides of the red line in this hockey game.
Well, the shots are 21-19, but there has been action. I don't think Tommy quite saw the movement that Shevelday did, particularly in period number 1.
Momentum has shifted back and forth, obviously, with the Penguins getting the lead and the Red Wings coming back to tie it at 5.
Penguins have never trailed in this game. They are now knotted up at 5, but they did, as we mentioned several times, lead 3-0. And Lemieux in against Dallas Drake, and Drake easily won the draw. We haven't seen Mario handle the faceoffs too much over the last couple of years, but he was there. And on the play to center, Jimmy Carson looking for Drake, and he pulled it to Alshel Samuelson. Drake comes in and shoots it, and Barrasso stopped that. He juggled it. It comes off. I'll tell you, we talked about the other night about it looking like a watermelon when it came to him. Right now, it must look like a BB to him. It's just bouncing and hopping all over the place, and he just can't get good control of it when he wants to. And near to the right wing is Ogrodnik. Up to Dallas Drake. I don't know what Tommy would like for right now, and I'm guessing for him, and that's not fair. I shouldn't say that. It's probably just to get this period over so he can go in and regroup a little bit. And just kind of, settle your brain down, because it has been a wild and hectic second period. I know I'd want to be afforded that opportunity.
Well, the Red Wings and the Vancouver Canucks talked about it before the last game. They said, we know the Penguins are giving up a lot of scoring chances, so we want to capitalize on them. And the Red Wings come in here tonight figuring, hey, they're going to give up some chances, and they've got the guys that can put the puck in the net. This broadcast is intended for the private use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of Pittsburgh Hockey Associates is strictly prohibited. Keith Primo is a giant.
Primo hard hitting forward, now playing center ice, and I think that's the spot that they want to have him at eventually, is to play center. And Racine, or pardon me, Mark Howe at the left point, put a shot on, deflected, block, he gets it back, throw it in front of one, right through the goal mouth, and around to the right point to Konstantinov of Detroit. He's sneaking off the boards, and Primo sets it up for Fedorov, checked on the play by Yager. Yager checking both ends of the ice right now, working hard for the Penguins. Konstantinov trying to clear. And he did get it to Primo, and Primo directs it up to center.
Both of these teams possess the puck so well, Mike. Once they get them, it's real hard to get the puck. It's real hard to get it away from them.
Fedorov slap shot off a shin pad, and it hops back to center ice. Coming on to Yzerman now, Fedorov, I'm sorry, who backhands it away to the Penguin near corner. The Red Wings race in, trying to get to the puck and center it. They can't do that. Trying to get commandable to be Yzerman. He does. Yzerman to Detroit, to Fedorov. He just shoots it weakly to the goal. He was looking for someone to pass to. Nobody was open. 12 seconds left. Ulf Samuelson finding Jaromir Jagr. Just a little time left, a half a dozen seconds, and he passes to McEachran, who pulls it around him and walks in and shoots, and Shevelday makes the save. Oh, Jagr set up McEachran with a nice period, and Jagr trying to get possession. It's just like, let's all go for a dance here tonight. Put on the show, and the Penguins are answering the call now. We've got a 5-5 tie here with 2.5 left. The Red Wings sneak it up inside the Penguin line, but Pack and Murphy combine to bring it out. And Jagr wants the biscuit. Over to the left side to Needham, back to Jagr. He'll move in with that wrist shot, and he's starting to favor that wrist shot now. I tell you, this league is so smart in players. He'll come down and make that play. Here in the left side, Gallant with a steal, got a man open. Yzerman couldn't quite get to the passes. Jagr, great defensive play there to tie up Yzerman. And back come the Penguins. Jagr comes down and makes that wrist shot attempt every time. Those defensemen are so smart. It only takes them one time to learn, and then they're right there for you. So then you have to bury again. You have to keep continuously moving around, doing different things. And Jarmir's been good at that in his career. He just added his new weapon here to his arsenal. Here to the near corner, Loney goes back behind the Detroit goal, put it in front, and Stapleton tried to ram it in. That water bottle comes off the net, but the referee, Mark Bossett, says that the net is dislodged, and he wants a face-off to the right of Tim Shevelday. I'll tell you, both goaltenders right now are a little stunned. Barrasso and Shevelday. I mean, they're looking. They're kind of bouncing around those nets.
Well, Cheveldae's got hit in the back of the head by the crossbar because Troy Loney knocked the net forward on its moorings. And Mike, these goaltenders had to know they were going to be in for a night where they were going to see a lot of rubber. A lot of great skill players on both sides of the red line in this hockey game.
Well, the shots are 21-19, but there has been action. I don't think Tommy quite saw the movement that Cheveldae did, particularly in period number 1.
Momentum has shifted back and forth, obviously, with the Penguins getting the lead and the Red Wings coming back to tie it at 5.
Penguins have never trailed in this game. They are now knotted up at 5, but they did, as we mentioned several times, lead 3-0. And Lemieux in against Dallas Drake, and Drake easily won the draw. We haven't seen Mario handle the faceoffs too much over the last couple of years, but he was there. And on the play to center, Jimmy Carson looking for Drake, and he pulled it around Shel Samuelson. Drake comes in and shoots it, and Barrasso stopped that. He juggled it. It comes off. I'll tell you, we talked about the other night about it looking like a watermelon when it came to him. Right now, it must look like a BB to him. It's just bouncing and hopping all over the place, and he just can't get good control of it when he wants to. And here to the right wing is Ogrodnik. Up to Dallas Drake. I don't know what Tommy would like for right now, and I'm guessing for him, and that's not fair. I shouldn't say that. It's probably just to get this period over so he can go in and regroup a little bit and just kind of, you know, settle your brain down, because it has been a wild and hectic second period. I know I'd want to be afforded that opportunity.
Well, the Red Wings and you know, the Vancouver Canucks talked about it before the last game. They said, you know, we know the Penguins are giving up a lot of scoring chances, so we want to capitalize on them. And the Red Wings come in here tonight figuring, hey, you know, they're going to give up some chances, and they've got the guys that can put the puck in the net. This broadcast is intended for the private use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of Pittsburgh Hockey Associates is strictly prohibited. Keith Primo is a giant.
Primo hard hitting forward, now playing center ice, and I think that's the spot that they want to have him at eventually, is play center. And Racine, or pardon me, Mark Howe at the left point, put a shot on, deflected, block, he gets it back, throw it in front of one, right through the goal mouth, and around to the right point to Konstantinov of Detroit. He's sneaking off the boards, and Primo sets it up for Fedorov, checked on the play by Yager. Yager checking both ends of the ice right now, working hard for the Penguins. Konstantinov trying to clear. And he did get it to Primo, and Primo directs it up to center.
Both of these teams possess the puck so well, Mike. Once they get them, it's real hard to get the puck. It's real hard to get it away from them.
Fedorov slap shot off a shin pad, and it hops back to center ice. Coming on to Yzerman now, Fedorov, I'm sorry, who backhands it away to the Penguin near corner. The Red Wings race in, trying to get to the puck and center it. They can't do that. Trying to get command of it to be Yzerman. He does. Yzerman to Detroit, to Fedorov. He just shoots it weakly to the goal. He was looking for someone to pass to. Nobody was open. 12 seconds left. Ulf Samuelson finding the armor Yager. Just a little time left, a half a dozen seconds, and he passes to McEachran, who pulls it around him and walks in and shoots him. Cheveldae makes the save. Oh, Yager set up McEachran with a nice pass there, and Sean, with that great speed, pulled around the defenseman, but he could not beat Cheveldae, who stopped him as time ran out at the end of 2.
It's another look at it on our TV side. Yager, McEachran streaking to open space, and he cut back to the inside. He knew the defenseman was coming across with him, Konstantinov. And a great move by McEachran to jump off his skates, to cut back the other way, and then take the shot very quickly down low on Cheveldae.
Oh, it's so easy to see from up here. He had Francis wide open on his right side. He had 2.5 seconds, just a little over 2 to work it. He might have been able to give it to him to put it in. But that's so easy up here. We'll be back. We're tied at 5 in a shootout at the Civic Arena. Stay tuned on the Penguins Hockey Network.
In my beer commercial, I'm having an insane day at the office. I'm overworked, totally swamped, and the whole place is becoming a nightmare. Suddenly, a delivery man.
Package for you. Urgent. Open now.
I open it up. I see light. And I'm out of here.
I See Light, the light beer with a unique Pittsburgh ingredient. Taste.
It's a bird thing.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a new face on the team. Remember all the great action of last year's Stanley Cup victory with the Pittsburgh Penguins highlight video, Against the Odds, available through the mail. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Do it again.
Would you believe Giant Eagle's fresh produce selection just got even fresher? It's true. That's because we're restocking it more often. You see, now that Giant Eagle's lowered the price on over 2,000 items you use most, more people are coming into Giant Eagle, and they're buying more produce. That means we have to restock our produce more often. For you, it means you get the freshest fruits and vegetables around. Giant Eagle. A lot you can feel good about. Especially the produce.
When Bob borrowed a lawnmower, all he got was short grass. When Bob borrowed hedge clippers, all he got was nice shrubs. When Bob borrowed a ladder, all he got was red shutters. When Bob borrowed a hose, all he got was wet. But when Bob borrowed money, he got free banking services. The Mellon Smart Accounts. The package accounts for people who borrow as well as save.
Well, we're tied at 5. I hope you're enjoying this one. We've had a lot of scoring, so let's get to it. Carson scoring his third of the year to get the Red Wings on the board first at 1:54 the second period. That made it 3-1. Yves Racine on a 55-foot shot from Fedorov and Chason made it 3-2. Penguins answered on a Yager goal at 6:46. That made it 4-2 Pittsburgh. And then Probert scoring at 7:46, 3 goals in a span of a minute and 53 seconds. At 12:48, the Penguins upped it to a 5-3 advantage on a power play goal by Tocchet. But the Red Wings stormed back. Fedorov at 15:26. And less than 30 seconds later, 29 to be exact, Chason on a power play goal unassisted. And it makes it 5-5 now through 2. Shots are dead even. The Penguins had 7, I beg your pardon. The Red Wings had 13 in the second, now have 23. And the Penguins with 7, a game total of 20. Earlier tonight, we had an opportunity, before we get to that, to tell you once again about the installed home improvement department at Sears. They'll be sponsoring a contest this season where you can win a $50 Sears gift certificate. The contest will consist of a name being randomly drawn during the first and second period of each game. And if the Pens shut out the opposing team, the winner will receive a $50 Sears gift certificate. If the other team does score, the gift certificate will pile up until the Pens register a shutout in the first or second periods. You can enter by mail or at any Sears in the installed home improvement department. How about this game? The first period would have had a winner. In the second period, see you later. 5 goals scored. All right, we talked to Ramblin' Rick Kehoe of the Pens earlier tonight, and we'll be back to chat with him on the Penguins Hockey Network.
In the last 3 years, over 100 appliance and electronic stores have closed their doors. At the same time, one store has grown to become America's largest, with the top name brands, nationwide service, and 100 years of trust. Brand Central at Sears, where you get the brands you want at the store you trust.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a new face on the team. Remember all the great action of the last 2 Stanley Cups with your Penguins 1992 commemorative yearbook, available through the mail. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Do it again.
Crisp, clean, Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails.
If you were to pick anyone from our design center or truck line in California,
it's a matter of pride.
Or the Camry line in Kentucky,
It's dedication.
take the first person you see at our Michigan or Indiana facilities.
It's a matter of commitment.
And show them the latest quote praising a Toyota product. They'd simply say,
That's great.
Making it better.
that's what it's all about. People think Toyota's reputation was built on the strength of its products, when in fact it was built on the strength, pride, and commitment of a lot of people.
It means putting your name on the line.
This interview is brought to you by Pepsi. Chill out with Pepsi in the pens. Pepsi, the taste you gotta have. We are at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, and of course, this is the first inductees brought into the Penguins Hall of Fame for the first time. And with us right now, one of the Penguins' assistant coaches, Rick Kehoe. But Rick, more on your mind tonight, and I'm sure the festivities of the day is being honored as one of the first inductees into this Hall of Fame with Bob Johnson, the Penguins' late coach, and of course, John Pronovo.
Well, I'll tell you something, Mike. I'm very honored and excited about this, and especially going in with two guys that I have a lot of respect for, Bob, God bless him, and John, who's a good friend of mine. So that's nice, and just for the owners to start a Hall of Fame here, to show some tradition over the years is a great thing.
Rick, let's go back in your career, and you and I have talked about this for years. I mean, it's been a long time. We both came here in 1974, and your first opportunity or the chance to come to Pittsburgh, what your thoughts were when you were traded to the Penguins.
Well, I remember when I was playing for Toronto, used to get off the plane, you go down the parkway, you wouldn't see too much, and then you go through the tunnel, and all of a sudden, there's the city. And I know a lot of players, they didn't like the city, but I heard a lot of good things about Pittsburgh, and I thought at the time some of the players that they acquired that summer and the year before, I thought, well, you know, they're going to have a pretty good team. So when I had the chance, I had 5 teams to go to, and I chose Pittsburgh.
You know, you look back on that first year, with the exception of the last 2 with the Stanley Cup, perhaps as exciting a team, the 74-75 team, as we've ever had here.
Well, we had a lot of character players, and you only played with 3 lines then, so you got enough ice time. You didn't have to worry about that. And we had 9 forwards that scored over 20 goals that year, and at that time, it was, you know, you didn't hear about that too often.
Pierre LaRouche, of course, on the scene at that time. Talk a little bit about John Pronovo as a player on that right side. You played for a few years with him and watched him play.
Well, John was a solid two-way player. You know, whatever you wanted, he could check, he could score goals, and he was a great team man. In the locker room, he was good. He was always, you know, getting the guys fired up in that. And then John was here for a while, and then he decided to move on.
Your biggest thrills as a member of the Penguins? Go back. I mean, there's a few distinguishable things, but maybe you have something different than what we would talk about.
Well, I guess scoring 50 goals here and playing in the representing the team in the All-Star games, and I put all that on the same level, and probably the greatest is winning the Stanley Cup, because that's what it's all about. But all the other individual accomplishments that I've had over the years in hockey have always been through teamwork. So I have to put the Stanley Cup up top and then the rest underneath.
I don't think a lot of people know that you won the Lady Byng Trophy for being the most gentlemanly player in the league, too.
That was in 80, 81, and you know, I played with some pretty good guys back then. I had you know, Paul Gardner at center, and Ross Lonsberry was a left winger who, you know, they told me just go and get the goals and we'll be back.
And that you did, boy. Great career here in Pittsburgh, and our congratulations to you, Rick, for being on the Hall of Fame.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
All right, Ramblin' Rick Kehoe has been our special guest. We'll have more from the Civic Arena in just a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
What? No dip?
For a really great Halloween, pick up tons of Pepsi and Doritos.
If you want the best there is, you go to a specialist, someone who knows the field, knows your needs. Now, if you're shopping for a minivan, you want the specialist at the Dodge Minivan store. They know more about minivans because Caravan is America's bestseller, outselling all other minivans. And because there are so many Caravan styles to choose from, just tell the specialist your needs. They'll do the rest. Only at your nearest Dodge dealer, the Minivan store.
In my beer commercial, it's the League Bowling Championship, and I'm smoking them like salmon. 11 strikes in a row, 1 to go to the perfect game. Last rack comes down, it's 10 icy light bottles. I'm torn. But my buddies and I go down that lane, and we knock them down the way it's meant to be done. Hey, losers! It's the reset button!
Icy Light, the light beer with a unique Pittsburgh ingredient. Taste.
It's a Berg thing.
From Channel 11 News, the station with more news more often, this is a KBL News Update.
I'm Margaret Shortridge. If you are a parent, there's probably a chance you've heard your child say, "I don't have any homework tonight." Well, one school is trying to make sure your child is not pulling the wool over your eyes. Find out at 11. Meantime, a hostage situation is unfolding at this hour. Witnesses in New Kensington say the police have surrounded a house in the Mount Vernon section. We'll have the details tonight at 11.
Now when the Penguins score, so does Mary Hall of North Braddock, Pennsylvania, with a $50 gift certificate from Giant Eagle. A couple of them. And the Penguins and the Red Wings tied at 5 after 2 periods of play. We're here to tell you that winning the Stanley Cup has become a habit for the Penguins. Oh yeah, habit. And reading the Penguins report, it should become a habit for the fans throughout the world, for that matter. This bi-weekly publication is the best way to get all the information on hockey's most exciting team. It contains plenty of features, photos, and stats to keep you up to date on all the action. Don't miss another issue. Subscribe now to the Penguins Report. It's on sale now at the Civic Arena gift shop and newsstands in the tri-state area. And you can purchase Penguins replica jerseys, home or away, for $60. The authentic home or away jersey for $140. That's the real McCoy there, $140. And you see the address on our TV side, available by calling 1-800-8-GO-PENS or 788-2370, or by Penguins mail order, Civic Arena, Pittsburgh, PA 15219. Deck yourself out in the new Penguin uniforms, home and away. Well, the Penguins have been pretty well perfect at home, with the exception of a tie to the Flyers, and they're hoping to find a way to hold off these Detroit Red Wings, who just aren't going to roll over. The Penguins had a 3-0 lead, and now it's a 5-5 tie after 2, and we'll be back with the start of the third in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Smart buys at Giant Eagle, you save money 3 ways. For one, we've lowered the price on over 2,000 items you use most, like detergent, cereal, diapers, and more. Also, whenever Giant Eagle gets special savings from manufacturers, we pass them on to you, again, saving you money. And when it comes to pre-priced items, Giant Eagle automatically reprices them 10 to 25% less every day, so you save even more. At Giant Eagle, there's always a lot you can feel good about.
Good times with friends, hey, they're special. Sometimes you wish they would never end. The care you show is just special. Friends know when to say when.
The family of Budweiser beers is proud of all the friendships they've helped make. So when they remind you to please use a designated driver, it's all in the name of friendship.
Friends know when to say when.
When Cellular One set out to build a superior cellular phone network, the landscape threw us some curves. So we designed a system so powerful, so well planned, you get extraordinary clarity in the country and in the city. Cellular One, a superior cellular network represented by a superior agent network. Advanced Telecom, now offering demo phones at no hardware cost. Free phones from Advanced Telecom on a Cellular One network. Advanced Telecom, Cellular One's Agent of the Year.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is being brought to you by Dodge. For a great deal, see your nearby Dodge dealer. By Kendall Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. Pour in the protection. By Saab, we don't make compromises, we make Saabs. By Old Spice, cool, crisp, and clean. It puts the wind in your sails. And by Wendy's, the best hamburger and a whole lot more.
The Red Wings had made it 3-2 before Jaromir Jagr connected with his 5th goal of the year. He gave it to Lemieux, who gave it back to Jagr, and Jagr had a wide-open net to work with behind Cheveldae. Of course, he had to get it past his own teammate Stevens to do that. Lemieux and Murphy assisting on it at 6:46 to make it 4-2. And then Rick Tocchet And for the Red Wings, it made it 4-3, made it 5-3 with that nice little nifty play there on the backhand as he was cruising in front of the net backwards. Just took the pass. Stevens and Lemieux assisting, his 4th of the year at 12:48. And then the Red Wings scored 2 more goals. Fedorov scored. Busting down the right side, took a shot. Murphy got a stick on it and deflected it right between the pads of his own goaltender, Tommy Barrasso. Chason and Lidstrom assisting on that goal by Fedorov, and then Chason himself got one on a face-off. Ronnie Francis won the draw, won possession of the puck, tried to pass the puck to Lemieux, leaving the zone. It was intercepted. Chason fired it back into the net.
Puck was on edge when he let it go, and he drilled it by Barrasso. It's Steve Chason with a goal and 2 assists tonight to help pace the way for the Red Wings, who now have a 5-5 tie with the Penguins. We begin period number 3. And the Penguins work it inside the Detroit line. That's chopped aside and on the play to the left wing. It goes to Gerard Gallant. A heavy slap shot down low, and Barrasso makes that save. He'll steer it up to center circle. The Red Wings settle it down. Detroit has won 4 of 5 games. The Penguins unbeaten on the year. They're 5-0-2, and they get an icing call against Detroit, and that brings it into Detroit territory.
Let's say happy birthday to Pat Spano, the father of Phil Spano, who works here in the press box for the Penguins. Pat, your son Phil says happy birthday.
And he pays Staggy $100 and everything's fine. No problem.
Yeah, that was the $100 he was going to use to buy you a present, but instead he just gave it to me and asked me to say happy birthday to you, Pat, so thanks a lot.
Vancouver Philly tied at 2 in the 3rd period. Toronto leads Tampa Bay 4-2 in the 2nd. Hartford with a 4-0 advantage over Ottawa in the 3rd period at Ottawa. New Jersey 2-1 over Chicago. And that game is in the 2nd period. And Minnesota leads Quebec 2-1, period number 2 at Minnesota. Mike Craig with 2 goals for Minnesota. And Hunter scoring for the Quebec Nordiques. Mario Lemieux with Kevin Stevens and Rick Tocchet. Lemieux trying to win the draw, cannot do so, and Yzerbark content just to work it off the boards and up into the Penguins into the ice surface. Another icing call, so the Red Wings have gone to a little different style here. It's a couple of icing calls against them, maybe trying to slow the tempo down a little bit, try and grind out a victory here against the Penguins. They rally with a big shootout in the 2nd period, scoring 5 times.
Fedorov, pretty good defensive player. I remember Brian Murray telling me 2 years ago in his first year in the league he was his best defensive center iceman.
I still think he thinks that. I do. Here's the left point off. Samuelson shoots it. It hit off a leg and caroms by Cheveldae. He was ducking and bobbing and weaving all over the place, but it went wide of the net, and here is defenseman Mark Howe on the play to center to Fedorov. And Fedorov just wristed it right over the glass. In this game, we talked about Steve Chason with a goal and 2 assists for Detroit. Jaromir Jagr has a goal and an assist. Stevens with 2 assists, and Mario Lemieux has been the big gun for the Penguins once again with 2 goals and 2 assists tonight. Mario has upped his league-leading total now to 26 points on the year and has 10 goals and leads the NHL in that department also.
Fedorov, a pretty courageous young guy. He defected from his hockey club out at the World Games out west. What do they call it again? I'm trying to think of the name of the games that were played out in Seattle.
World Junior Games? Were that?
No, it was the that tournament that was.
I know what
played
you're talking about.
The Goodwill Games.
Yeah.
Goodwill Games.
Yeah. Fedorov has it, though, and the Penguins in a wrist shot. Right on Barrasso to save the rebound. He just missed that. He almost gave the Red Wings the lead. But Lemieux hustles back. Lemieux on to Stevens. And he'll swing wide to the left side of the Detroit zone. Played it off a leg, and it caroms on to Ulf Samuelsson. He got around Keith Primo. Now scoots back and drops it to his own line to Larry Murphy. Murphy looks for Lemieux, who's back in his own end. Made a nice move to get around Fedorov. Mario standing tall as he skates up. Tocchet lets it go for Murphy, who's going to go down deep in the play in the Detroit zone, but his centering pass cut off by Primo. And he is content just to play it off the boards and onto center. Now Lemieux again hustles in, going to the Detroit end. Mark Howe strips him of the puck. Howe trying to flip it out and hit a blade. Caroms over to Fedorov. Now Tocchet's in battling. Former teammate Mark Howe. Tocchet gets centers it to Stevens, and a quick shot and a good save by Cheveldae. And the Penguins with that size just get in there and work those corners. And when they do, they get opportunities. And another icing call. And right now, Detroit has played a much different game than they did in the 2nd period. They've given us kind of a different look all 3 periods so far. It just appears to me they just don't want to give up a crazy goal. They want to play tight and hope that they get the break. The Penguins get caught and they get a chance to go ahead.
That Fedorov is dangerous because you just don't know what he's going to do. The way he can skate and change direction.
You know, the guy that scares me right now is Yzerman because he's been quiet tonight, and he is due. He can unload at any second. was Stevens' quick shot.
And there's another example of that hand speed and that improved hand skill of Stevens. Quickly turning that puck over to the backhand and almost sneaking it by Tim Chevrolet from right in front with a man on him. When you play with great players, you're going to get even better. It just keeps rubbing off on everybody.
Loney back to the left point of the Detroit zone to Jimmy Peck with a heavy slap shot up the left leg of Chevrolet. And on the rebound, it's right out to John Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik with Jimmy Carson and Dallas Drake. Drake guns back behind the Penguin net looking for the puck. It came off a skate, but right in front, the Penguins control it. And Troy Loney steps to center end, and he'll shuffle it back into the Detroit zone. Chevrolet takes command of it. The Detroit goaltender played it over the outstretched glove of one of the pins, and it comes on to Ogrodnik. John Ogrodnik, who once scored 56 goals, was it, or 55 in a Detroit uniform? 55. And around back in behind the Pittsburgh net.
He was the all-star left winger that year, I believe.
Dallas Drake. A real breaking Lidstrom. Lidstrom trying to center, and the Penguins poke that away. They get it to the right point by Brad McCrimmon, and on to center. One of the Penguins got knocked down. That was Stapleton. Back and forth they go, and this will be a two-line pass called against Detroit, trying to headman the puck up towards Penguin territory. Mike Stapleton reminds me a little bit of not the same scoring ability of Craig Simpson. When Simpson first came with the Pens, how many times he would end up on the ice? Do you remember? We saw him in college too. He seems to be on the ice an awful lot.
Jim Pack scored a goal the other night with a slap shot, and on that occasion he really let a good one go, and Chevrolet made the save. He saw it all the way.
And that's not a knock. I just think Stapleton uses his body in that manner a lot of ways to just kind of give in situations, not particularly big in size, and that's a lot of his style. And I also think too, I don't know if Chevrolet saw that shot. It went towards it. They just got a glove on it, bounces wide. And he'll draw penalties too, Will Stapleton, in situations when he gets hit. Ulf Samuelson. He went right off the far boards, and the carry behind the net. Goaltender Chevrolet played it up, but not out. Stanton goes to McEachran and a quick shot, and Chevrolet directs that away from that goaltender's blade. McEachran in front goes down to Francis, and he pulls the trigger. That's deflected by Yves Racine, and it's up into the seats behind goaltender Tim Chevrolet.
How do they know where each other are, Mike?
know.
It's absolutely amazing. McEachran with a little drop pass. It looked like he had eyes on the back of his head. Francis right there in the slot, and Ronnie didn't get rid of it immediately. He wanted to snap that puck on Chevrolet, and that extra second gave Racine time to come back and deflect it off his stick. McEachran had taken a quick shot before that and dropped it off to Ronnie Francis. You see, he took a slap shot there. He did not shoot it right away. He teed it up, and that gave Racine time to come over and poke it away from him. Deflect the shot anyway.
Well, McEachran is just flying for the Penguins and making plays. And very strong in the early part of this season. It's kicked away by Francis after the draw, but the Red Wings have control of it. They center it up the alley. Ulf Samuelson stole that. He looked for McEachran. It's behind him. And Primo now deals it up into the Penguins. Omar Barrasso takes command of the puck. 16-17 left here in the third. Tied at 5. The Penguins and the Red Wings. And Paul Stanton, the Penguin defenseman, sneaks it up to center to Ron Francis. Penguins led 3-0 and 5-3 in this hockey game. The Red Wings scored 5 second-period goals to get back into it. Barrasso again trying to loft it out, and it hit a Red Wing and comes back into the zone, and we get a stop in action. We will pause. We've played 4 minutes here of period number 3. Tied at 5 in Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a new face on the team. Remember all the great action of last year's Stanley Cup victory with the Pittsburgh Penguins highlight video, Against the Odds, available through the mail. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Do it again.
You guys want a beer commercial? You tell them, Ray. You take a couple of guys, swing it a 10. No, let's make it a 20-pound sledgehammer all day long. Show them where you get these. You got it, Ray. You don't get these sitting around petting kitty cats. Show them what a man is. Drinking his iron. Not a bunch of airheads sitting around on a beach.
Iron City beer. There's a little iron in all of us.
It's a Berg thing.
Mike, Jean Pronovo is our guest during the first intermission on radio and television. Intermission interview guest received a gift certificate from the Carlton and one of them at one Mellon Bank Center. It's voted the best downtown restaurant and best overall service in Western Pennsylvania. Enjoy a great dinner and free parking for your next hockey night in Pittsburgh at the Carlton Restaurant downtown.
We are back to play, and the puck wheeled over to Ulf Samuelsson. Throw it back behind the Detroit net. And Chevelday trying to get to Konstantinov, who lost his helmet, and he does accomplish that feat. And here come the Red Wings storming out of their own end. Fedorov trying to dance his way around Ulf Samuelsson. Got a right wing to Eisenbart. He moves in with a backhand shot. That stop rebound. He puts it up the side of the net. Eisenbart showing that good ability to get around and get that rebound, but he just couldn't quite put it in by a fallen Tom Barrasso. And here's a shot by Fedorov, and he whistles a wrist shot wide of the cage again. Kevin Stevens of the Penguins going rink wide. That's beyond the reach of Rick Tocchet. The Wings trying to counterattack. They can't do that. Lemieux gets command of the puck. Goes rink wide near side to Stevens. Comes up and really shoulders Konstantinov and flattens him with a shoulder check as he moved in on him. Tocchet put it in front. A bouncing puck. Where is it? And Chevelday reaches through traffic like a cat going through garbage in an alley and pulls it in and holds on. Boy, Chevelday seeing a little different look from this hockey club than he's seen early in the year, I'm sure. Just like continuous pressure in around that goal all the time.
Now, Kevin Stevens knew Konstantinov was coming. Konstantinov likes to make body contact with you out there on the ice, and Stevens knew he was coming, so he just put the shoulder out against him and really drilled him at center ice. This was Eisenbart earlier on the backhand try coming down the off wing. Got his own rebound, put it off the side of the net. Here comes Konstantinov, and hello. Welcome to America, Konstantinov. Vladimir, a big American player. Kevin Stevens put the shoulder into him pretty good. And his helmet came off for the second time in the last 5 minutes.
Play again. The Penguins have Daniels and Needham working either side for Dave Tippett, who had the opening goal in this game, which seems like it was on Wednesday. That seems that long ago. Yeah, he did. He got the first goal. If you remember way back when.
Dave Tippett facing Steve Yzerman right now, so he's got an important job to do defensively for the Pens. Not paid to really score goals. He's paid to prevent them.
And play again. The Penguins bring it again into the Detroit end, and it bounces off a leg right to Chevelday, who directs that away from that cage. Shots are dead even now at 26 apiece. The game tied at 5. 14:27 left here in the third period. Working hard is Jeff Daniels. Behind the net, Needham. Needham loves to come from behind that goal and work out in front of that goal and try and get a shot up. Tippett comes in. This is a good hustling line right now the Penguins have out there, and they're really working hard. Daniels again swinging around behind a Tippett. They are fresh and they are flying and they are playing well. Tippett again pressured by Gerard Gallant. Penguins in digging for it. Now Needham makes the play to knock it back into the corner. Here's Daniels upended. Play goes on, and Tippett takes a belt, but he keeps right on working for that puck. And Jeff Daniels looks for Tippett in front to Needham, and it's off a stick. And the Red Wings finally will get a penalty here. That is a tremendous shift here. Remember that shift, the key to this hockey game possibly. Jeff Daniels, Mike Needham, and Dave Tippett may have possibly turned this game around, because the Penguins get a power play chance, and they really made things happen. We'll be back tied at 5 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
No dip?
For a really great Halloween, pick up tons of Pepsi and Doritos.
Next time you're dining out, ponder this. The Discover card pays you a cashback bonus on every meal you charge, which means you shall soon acquire a small fortune. It pays to Discover. Our annual credit card fees sending you through the roof? Carry the card that charges no annual fee and stay on firm financial ground. It pays to Discover.
Gerard Gallant, who appears to have fully recovered from back surgery, will have to sit in the penalty box right now because he tripped one of the Penguins. On that last shift, Daniels, Needham, and Tippett really doing the job, and Gallant tripped Dave Tippett as he tried to come back out towards the slot area with the puck off the boards.
Well, the Penguins put the power play to use once again here against Detroit.
They had a great shift like that, Mike, early in this hockey game, you may remember, when they set the tempo for the Pens.
Pens power play has been perfect tonight. It's 3 for 3 against Detroit. Awesome numbers the Penguins have put up here in the early going. That's one of your favorite words, Staggy. Awesome, but I think it's appropriate here with the numbers that they have. Francis leaving the puck for Stevens, and a slap shot blocked by the Detroit defense. They work it here to the near corner. Game tied at 5. Around to the left point. Ron Francis trying to set it up for Lemieux, who was bumped heavily by Fedorov from behind. Detroit has scored one shorthanded goal in the year. The Penguins again are forced to their own end. Remember back when Detroit had control of the puck for a long time, when the Penguins eventually scored late on a power play. Here's Tocchet now racing through right to left into the Detroit end, trying to drag the people with him and make things open up. Goes left point to Francis. A slap shot blocked nicely by Drake, the rookie. And Dallas Drake gets that puck, and he swings it out of his own end. That's good hustle by Dallas Drake of Detroit.
He and Eisenbart doing a good job up front to pressure the Penguins' point man. They're not getting as much room as they've been getting on the power play.
1:05 left here in the penalty to the near corner to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux sets it up for Stevens. Went right by him. Francis with a slap shot around the net, deflected off the post to the left of Chevalier, and he grabs that one and holds on. That one caught the pipe as Big Ben struck one. But it was Chevalier again scooping up that loose puck and coming up with possession.
Lemieux cruising with that puck again with a great pass all the way out to the left point to Francis, and then Lemieux went around the net and got over by the post looking for the deflection and almost steered that puck in behind Tim Chevalier. Chevalier reaching back with a glove to grab it. Lemieux right there looking for the deflection and then trying to get the paddle on it as it was popping up in the air, and he just couldn't knock it over Chevalier and into the goal. Chevalier is an acrobatic goaltender. He can make saves and make the easy ones look hard, and the hard ones look entertaining.
Well, Lemieux steps in to handle the draw here. Mike Sillinger out to handle the face-off against Lemieux. Yager's going to take the right wing. And Tocchet will take a seat with Stanton and Fogarty as the 2-point men. I think this is Fogarty's second shift of the game. He had one briefly. And Lemieux off the right wing side, 45 to go, giving the puck over to Jaromir Jagr. Jagr going back behind the net, turns around trying to give it to Lemieux, and the Red Wings are right there, and they're putting good pressure on the Penguins right now. They're playing well, trying to shut it down. It doesn't always work when you're shorthanded by a man, but they are certainly not without effort here. Here's Stanton over to the right side of Lemieux. He goes back to Paul Stanton, will relay it back to Lemieux. Lemieux pulls over into the corner now. Stopping, looking, got to get some movement. Somebody's got to open it up here. Goes behind the net to Jagr, back to Lemieux. Stevens goes to the net. He can't get it that way. Jagr comes out. Jagr looking, he's got a man. Fogarty cutting for the net. His shot. The save is made by Chevalier, and it's cleared away by Detroit. Pretty good set play, I believe, there by the Penguins, and Fogarty came racing in to take that pass, and he just couldn't get it by Tim Chevalier. Final rush up. Penguins don't have much time. Jagr overskated the play, and Fedorov has it, and the Red Wings have killed the penalty. Now up inside the Detroit line and touched by Stevens' skate as he was trapped inside, and the offside infraction called against Pittsburgh.
Fogarty was moving in and out from that left point position, in towards the hash mark, back out towards the blue line, back in again. And he kept waving that stick, looking for a pass across, and finally it was Jagr who found him wide open. And then he took a stride towards the net and fired the puck down low, and Chevalier was able to make the save on it. Jagr was able to find Fogarty wide open. He looked up, dished it off to a spot. Fogarty came in right to the hash mark, pulled the trigger, looking for the 5-hole, and Chevalier got his stick on that shot to make the save. Fogarty's strength is going to be on the power play for the Penguins until he can get a little bit more experience at even strength and learn the defensive part of the game. I don't think you're going to see him much on the ice except on power play opportunities.
Nicholas Lidstrom deals it back to the Penguin goal. Barrasso shuffle that ahead back to the center red line, near side. McCrimmon force it left wing, and Primo trying to carry it by another 6'6" giant, Shel Samuelson. They collide, and the Penguins get the puck. McCrimmon with speed down the right side against Lidstrom, coming towards the net. He backhand shot, and he missed the goal. Here along the near side, the Penguins dig for it. And Jaromir Jagr of the Penguins try to keep it in. Does. Goes to McEachran, who steps behind the goal. Little stutter stop now to make a play to Jagr. Beautiful play. Jagr right behind the net. Goes over to the far side with McCrimmon on his backside. Jagr belted by McCrimmon, and the Penguins reach in, and Loney now trying to get to the puck. Troy Loney playing left wing in this unit. Goes to Jagr. Jagr had a poop checked away. And the Red Wings trying to shut the Penguins down here in behind the net. Heard by Fedorov around the near wing and off a stick and into the seats. So a good shift again here by McEachran, Loney, and Jagr. Working as a trio. 10:54 left.
And McEachran dummying the play for a moment, Mike. You saw him just kind of stop for a second and then dart back in the opposite direction with the puck. He's got such great acceleration. Good straight ahead speed too. He took the backhand shot a moment ago and Chevrolet stopped him, or actually went just wide. That play that he made off the backboard was a beauty. The way he just kind of stopped, slowed down for a moment, and then shifted into high gear right off the mark. He really has almost a top speed after one stride, if that's possible.
It looks so easy, doesn't it? And it is so difficult. They're so great with their hands. There's Lemieux in the rebound and knocked in by Tocchet. I'm sorry, he put it in. Rick Tocchet on the rebound. Gets it by goaltender Chevrolet. After Murphy fired it from the point, the Penguins have the lead 6-5. Now, hallelujah, Hollywood. Rick Tocchet cruising in front of that net. Got a stick on it again. He'll get his second goal, and the Penguins lead 6-5.
Murphy cranked it up, fired the puck. Chevrolet out, made the save. The rebound came back out. And Rick Tocchet
just chipped it over him.
Yep. He's so strong going to the net in those situations. Look at that, one hand on the stick, and then he gets it and just fires it in there. Wow. Now you know why Tocchet scored so many goals with the Flyers.
So Tocchet gives the Penguins the lead. One more time. Here comes Stevens now. Back here. Got a man in front, and a shot by Tocchet. Missed the net. Stevens up the near side. Tocchet in front. He can't take that pass. Rick Tocchet with 2 goals. Lemieux with a pair. Penguins lead 6-5. Now on the right side, Lemieux cutting for the net. Moves in with a little backhand move. Shoots it. Backhand and knocked away by the Red Wings. And the Penguins, again, have got that big attack going. They lead 6-5. 10-10 left here in the third period. Ulf Samuelsson. Passing left wing, and it's off a stick, and Karam's into Detroit territory. He's Racine. Finding Bob Probert, and Probert to the Red Wings. Wristed into Penguin territory. Pack over to Larry Murphy, and Murphy up in the air, knocked down by Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik over to Jimmy Carson. Carson left side. Trying to pass in the slot. That is cut off by the Penguins. Looking for the puck is Jagr. Played off the boards by Murphy. And over to grab that loose puck is Mark Howe. Boy, Howe again, we talked about a guy reading it. If you see the game from up high, he read that play where Murphy was going to make that pass. Not many defensemen in this league do. Not on that level. And pushed back inside the Penguin line. We get an offside call here against Detroit.
Let's talk about it, Mike. How many guys in this league could you honestly say, year in and year out, when they're healthy, could be considered Norris Trophy candidates? And I think Mark Howe has been in that category his entire career. He's never won one. You know that he has the all-time record for points by a defenseman in hockey. Not Paul Coffey, Mark Howe, because he played so many seasons in the World Hockey Association. I know that's like an asterisk, but still, he's been productive from day one. 1,182 total points coming into this season. He played a lot of years in the WHA, played with his daddy and his brother Marty on the same line, so those points, some of those points were acquired when he was playing as a forward.
I wonder if he'll play as long as his dad did in the early 50s.
That bad back,
I would doubt it. Yeah, and here's Jagr, left side to McEachran. McEachran trying to feed it for Francis going down the alley, but he couldn't get it to him, and here come the Red Wings on the counterattack. Ogrodnik facing off back into Penguin territory, around to the near corner, and Jimmy Pack, the Penguin blue liner, will find Sean McEachran. Third period, Penguins 6, Red Wings 5. Penguins have taken the lead here in the third on a goal by Rick Tocchet at the 9:12 mark. Twisted up into Penguin ice. Shell Samuelsson, the Penguin defenseman, out to Jagr, cruising into Detroit territory. 1-on-3, comes down, trying to pull it around all 3 men, and he couldn't get it through. And the Red Wings knocked that away. Up on the plate of center will be Brad McCrimmon of the Red Wings, and he will push it up into the Penguins near corner. Yzerman takes it off the boards, coming for the net with a backhand shot. Barrasso stopped him right in tight. We told you Yzerman has been quiet all night, and he just had a big opportunity there to tie the game for Detroit, but Barrasso said no. Will return. 8:24 left here in the third. The Penguins 6 and the Red Wings 5 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
by your Dodge dealer and you can pick up $500 cash back on any new Dodge Dakota in stock. Dakota Club cabs are also available with a 4-speed automatic and air conditioning at no extra charge. And even all dressed up Dakota Sports now drop under 10 grand. It's the National Dodge Truck Sale. Now arriving at a Dodge dealer near you.
Nipper and Chipper show us what the RCA home theater with SRS sound looks like. Now they show us what it feels like. Looks like, feels like. Looks like, feels like. Any questions?
Well, Steve Yzerman with tremendous skill at high speed and that ability to change direction, great lateral movement. And he almost scored on Barrasso as he cut in. We're seeing an incredible display of skill here tonight on both sides. Fedorov and Yzerman, two of the great players in the game.
Penguins have their power play going again. 3 for 4 tonight, 5 for 8 in the last 2 games, and 8 for 15 in the last 3. Yzerman behind the goal, turns and shoots it. That's stopped by Barrasso, right on the doorstep and cleared away. Yzerman again looking for that loose puck. It is belted to the left point, but not out. Nicholas Lidstrom into the far corner. Stan trying to shut down Gerard Gallant. Here's Tippett up any one of the Red Wings. Tippett playing with Stapleton right now on this Penguin line. And Jeff Daniel, or Troy Loney, and the near wing. They battle for it. Make it Daniel. I'm sorry. Snapped aside by the Pens and up into the Detroit zone. 7:47 left here in the third period. The Red Wings, Steve Yzerman moved around. Checking Kevin Stevens. Yzerman into the Penguins in. He's putting on a show right now and reaching in his pocket to try and get it away from him. Rick Tocchet and Mario Lemieux with 2 goals nights tonight for the Penguins. Left side, Racine blasting one. That's stopped. Yzerman right in front. Look out. Back looks at him. And the Penguins carry it out. And here comes Rick Tocchet. On to Stevens, 3-on-2. Stevens left side, a wrist shot, and he almost got that one by Chevrolet. Just got the blocker up to make the save on Rick Tocchet. And bounced away off that board. That's how powerful that shot of Stevens is. And I'm looking at Chevrolet. They may not have hit his blocker. It might have hit his stick. Stevens on the right side, or Lemieux on the right side. Brings it back into the Detroit zone. Rip it back around to the near wing, and Tocchet ties up his man, takes him out of the play. Pack on the Penguins looking. But it settles into the right of the net, and Sergei Fedorov has the puck for the Red Wings. Hustles up to center. Eisenbach trying to take the pass, cut off by Pack, and he goes back to him on the Yager. Gives it to Yager. Yager shooting the wrist shot, save made, rebound. McEachran. He shoots and scores. Sean McEachran gives the Penguins a 7-5 lead. Now call Arnold Slick from Turtle Creek. Sean McEachran. Can't beat that speed, Paul. You can't beat it.
I'll tell you something, that was a great shot too by McEachran. He went upstairs on it. He put it up underneath the crossbar. Yager took a good wrist shot, forced Chevrolet to make a save. The rebound went out past Jimmy Pack, who'd gone to the net. And McEachran, trailing the play, picked it up and got rid of it in a hurry. Pack went flying towards the net, and Chevrolet never had time to react to that shot by Sean McEachran. What a perfectly placed shot underneath the crossbar. You think maybe Sean McEachran's starting to relax now when he gets into scoring position? I do. He's starting to connect with regularity now.
And his speed got into that loose puck before anybody can get there. And I think Fedorov was on the ice, and I watched him after the goal was scored. And he just raised his head up and just say, I can't believe McEachran going to the goal again with a backhander. Hey, shoots and scores again! Oh, my goodness, he beat Chevrolet. And the Penguins lead 8-5, and you'd have to be here to believe the move that McEachran put on Chevrolet. The Penguins have upped it to a 3-goal lead.
I'll tell you what, he's pulled the trigger on both of those goals. And that is a good sign. When you see somebody doing that, when he gets in around the net, McEachran's going to score a lot of goals if he keeps shooting the puck like that in tight. He turned it over to the backhand and shoveled that puck. Shoveled it over Chevrolet. Chevrolet went down on the play.
McEachran scores twice in a span of 8 seconds. Yager figures in on both of them. And Sean McEachran right now is tied for the league lead among rookies, I think, in goal scoring with 7 goals. Keckering gets goals 6 and 7 here in a span of 8 seconds. Whew. Here they come again. The pin's fired, and it's off the post to the left of Chevelday. Stepping up the center. Down the right wing, Drake, and Ronnie Francis got an assist to extend his streak. It is now 8 straight, and Ron Francis brings it back. And the Red Wings, just like the Canucks the other night in Pittsburgh, have to be saying to themselves, what is going on? Yager's pulled down by Howe. And there's no penalty called, or will they? Referee Mark Bissett did not raise his hand up, but he may have blew the whistle before Yager was upended. Konstantinov and Loney now.
Loney and Konstantinov had something going since the beginning of this hockey game.
And I think those are the guilty parties here. Those two guys, Konstantinov and Loney.
Mike, you want to hear what it sounds like when Big Ben strikes one? Yager rung that one off the crossbar up here. Tell you what, Yager pulled the trigger there too. It's scary what these guys are doing when they're shooting the puck.
.21 the time of these minor penalties. Konstantinov an elbowing call. Loney a roughing minor. I'll go 4-on-4, and the Penguins leading 8-5. I was about to say, I know Vancouver the other night just had to be seeing double of everybody, and right now the Penguins are on that same situation, and they're coming strong. Stevens behind the net trying to find Lemieux. And Lemieux is not even figured in here in a third period goal. He has 4 points on the night. You get balance like that, that is something. And the Penguins right now at the very top of their game. Paul Samuelson. It seems when they have to be, Paul, they can be. I mean, it's that situation. They gave up a 3-goal lead. They let 5-3, and they watched that evaporate. Now they come on here in the third, and they work themselves quickly into a 3-goal advantage. And Rick Tocchet got a big goal to put them ahead. Paul Samuelson finding Mario Lemieux to the right wing off the stick of Stevens, and he cuts his way into the Detroit zone and goes over to the far corner. Stevens digging for it. Westrom trying to tie him up. It's 4-on-4 hockey right now. But the minor penalties to Loney and Konstantinov. The Red Wings get out of their own territory, and Steve Yzerman came that close to giving the Red Wings the lead at one point in this game. Also tied it. And now their club, the Red Wings, are down by 3. Lemieux spinning back inside the Detroit line, and Fedorov trying to deke his way around Ronnie Francis. He's a great skater, Fedorov, and he's into the Penguins' end. Good pass left side. Frasine in deep, and they couldn't get it to Primo, cut right by the goal. And the Penguins go the other way. Ron Francis looks for a trailer, and he's got him in Murphy, the left point of the Detroit zone. Murphy just shoots it weakly towards a goal, and Chevelday makes that save with his blade. And around the boards it goes up that far side. Chevelday 1-4-2 coming into this game. Here's a collision between Tocchet and Primo, and a tripping call be called against the Penguins' Rick Tocchet. But Chevelday was 1-4-2 with a 4.33 goals against average coming in, and it's going to go higher than that. We'll be back. The Red Wings get a power play in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Would you believe Giant Eagle's fresh produce selection just got even fresher? It's true. That's because we're restocking it more often. You see, now that Giant Eagle's lowered the price on over 2,000 items you use most, more people are coming into Giant Eagle, and they're buying more produce. That means we have to restock our produce more often. For you, it means you get the freshest fruits and vegetables around. Giant Eagle. A lot you can feel good about. Especially the produce.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Real adventure. The Discovery Channel. It's your world.
Well, we're talking knee Primo earlier, and that was a dangerous play there. He used the knee to slow him down, and couldn't believe he got the call. He keeps still shaking his head, but Primo got up. He was hurt. Got a Charlie horse as he came to the bench.
They've been banging each other pretty good all night, Primo and Tocchet, and here's Dallas Drake. Sneaks it back into Penguin ice, but Shell Samuelson is there. In 1 second, Loney and Konstantinov come on, so now it is a 5-on-4 advantage for the Red Wings. Lemieux out here getting ice time here in an 8-5 game for the Penguins, with Francis also on board. Samuelson hit from behind by Probert, but flipped off the glass and into the seats. The Penguins were not the highest scoring team in the league. I think Quebec holds that in the mark there, but the Penguins are averaging over 5 a game, and that of course will move up a little bit here with an 8-goal effort tonight. I think the thing that's impressive is the Pens came into this game second overall in the league on defense behind the New York Rangers. Those numbers will edge up, but they certainly have shown a much better propensity to play defense also too so far in the early season. Tonight, though, it's the old shootout at the Civic Arena. They could have opened the roof. Here's Fedorov in front. His wrist shot. Barrasso stopped that. Tommy, recovering from a tough second period, has played perfectly for the Penguins here in the third. I thought maybe just that little time off might give him a chance to get himself together, and he's played strong when he's had to here in the third. 3 minutes left in the third period. 8-5 the Penguins lead. And on the power play, the Red Wings again storm back into the Penguins' end. They try and put it by Barrasso. He whacks it with a stick. It comes high in the air. Somebody got a high stick on that puck, and that stops the play.
You were talking about defense, Mike. Did you mention the Penguins' team defense was second in the league coming into this game?
Did.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
2.79 is the goal again. Now we have a little stat here, Mike, for you. The second fastest Penguins 2 goals by the same player were scored tonight by Sean McEachern. The fastest ever, Wally Boyer, back in 1970, March 5th. He scored in 7 seconds 2 goals. I was at that game. I remember when he did it.
Well, Staggy, then you're part of history.
Yeah, I guess I am.
You've seen the 1 and number 2.
Wally Boyer, remember him? Number 18 of the Penguins.
We were talking about great goals. Pronovo scored one here against the Rangers, and I don't know if it's the greatest determination goal I think I've ever seen by a Penguin player in this building, or any player. The Pens were shorthanded in a situation, and Pronovo was killing a penalty, and they got knocked aside. The Rangers were all over the Penguins, I mean heavily in their own end. They got knocked away at the point. Pronovo had a breakaway from the blue line, went all the way in against Doug Sotart, and shot the puck and missed it. Now, completely exhausted, had to come back because the Rangers had it going. They couldn't get off, and they came back in the zone. They moved it all around again, knocked it away at the point. Prony knocked it down again, and I mean, completely out of the Rangers couldn't even catch him. He just skated in slow motion all the way back in by himself and beat Sotard on a breakaway and a shorthanded goal. Here's a face-off and a shot right on the save by Barrasso, and now it goes in. Ciccarelli may have knocked that puck in. It's a power play goal for the Detroit Red Wings, and they make it 8-6. With 2:44 left here in the third period. I think Dino Ciccarelli might be the man that gets credit for this goal. Dino very quick around that net himself. 17-16 the time.
Jason just fired that puck with a backhand maneuver back into the slot area. Well, the Red Wings just helped it along to the net. Barrasso made the save, and it just rolled underneath him. I think Ciccarelli was the last guy to touch it. He was. He gets the goal.
Yzerman and Ogrodnik on the assist for Ciccarelli. And Ciccarelli gets number 4 in the season for himself. It is now an 8-6 hockey game.
I would guess, Mike, that if these two teams played 7-game series, you'd see a lot of high-scoring games like this between the two clubs.
And Gerard Gallant now whipping to the Penguin net. The Red Wings have shown the ability to come back in this game. Do they have one more effort left here? Pens are guilty of icing, and that will slow the play down and bring it back into Pittsburgh territory. Tonight, Mario Lemieux with 4 points. Kevin Stevens with a pair. Yager has a 4-point night with a goal and 3 assists. Steve Chason with 3, and Chason just missed there. He was the 4th man on that play, helping to keep it in. Getting another assist on that goal, which was another power play goal by the Red Wings. Well, they have 3 tonight.
Dino's talking up a storm right now on the ice. He and McEachern just had words.
I would think if I was a young player, that would be one guy I'd want to get around. You know why? Because then I'd learn about the worst of somebody talking to you. And then you get it out of your system and you realize that, you know, there'll be a few more like that, but not too many that will chat as much as Dino. And he does get them agitated. There's no question about that. And the best, too. Left point. There's a shot by Yves Racine and deflected. But I never have doubted his ability and his desire to play the game, Dino Ciccarelli. And you have to admire that. And I have seen him hammered, and I mean hammered hard and hit in front of that net, knocked down, beat up, turned around. I mean, really, literally ripped apart, and still come back and play the game every night like that. So be a player Penguin fans and would just admire to death, believe me. He really is something. And that's why Detroit was, you know, wanted to make a deal to get him on. He's been a very high commodity in the National Hockey League for a lot of years, and he scores. Racine. Take that face-off play to the Penguin line. Ulf Samuelsson banks it off the boards and then behind the Detroit net. We are down to 2 minutes left here in the third period. The Penguins lead Detroit 8-6. On this Hall of Fame night, inducted Rick Keogh, former Penguin John Pronovo, the right winger for the Pens, and the late Bob Johnson, the Penguins coach, who led them to the Stanley Cup. And right now, the Penguins leading by 2, trying to protect it. Will Cheveldae come off with 1:40 to go? That's a tough job to do against this Penguin team, believe me. Here's Lemieux back 2-on-1 with Tocchet now. Both have 2 goals. So Tocchet back to Lemieux. Hat-trick time! Mario Lemieux gets the HT, and the Penguins have scored again, and they make it 9-6. Mario Lemieux, and ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. What a passing play. Tocchet, Lemieux. Back and forth they went. Lemieux to Tocchet. Back to Lemieux. HT and an ENG. An empty net. I was just about to say that you can't really afford to pull goaltender Cheveldae, not with the firepower that the Penguins have. So Lemieux gets his 5th point of the night, and he now has 11 league-leading goals. The pass alone was there to make the play for Tocchet. He could have taken a good scoring chance, but he gave it back to Lemieux. Both men had a pair of goals going in. Well, Chason and Samuelsson are going to pick up misconduct penalties here. Those are misconduct penalties at 18:28. Lemieux has the goal. Tocchet will get one of the assists. And so the Penguins now just have to tick it off. McEachran looking for the hat trick himself. He comes in, looks for Yager. Yager moves around. He puts a shot on save. Rebound McEachran. He can't quite get it in. He was looking for his first NHL hat trick. Stevens and Tocchet assist on the goal by Lemieux. And here the left side, the Red Wings, Eisenbart drills one to the goal, and that's stopped. Wayne is just wide open right now. McEachran feather it ahead, and Jaromir Jagr storms back with 60 seconds to go in the game. Jagr right side to Troy Loney. Loney's trying to say to himself, what am I doing in this thing? With these guys going like they are. The shooter's right side. Fedorov coming down, not to make fun of him, but he just has to be looking out there. What am I doing with these high-priced guys that are running around? And we get a stop on the action. It just was kind of humorous the way it hit me, the way they're going. And here's Big Troy trying to work his way in, and all of a sudden presented with a puck, and they're looking for skills that make your head turn around. Penguins get a bench penalty here for too many men on the ice. Well, that's great when you're having fun, and the Penguins are certainly having that right now. They lead 9-6. 19-16, the time of the bench penalty for too many men on the ice. However, again, not to harp on it, I don't think they'll go unbeaten during the course of the year, but there will be some tough times along the way. Enjoy it now while things are going well. And here on the right side, Mike Stapleton comes down with a heavy slap shot. Cheveldae stops that. The Penguins' 39th shot on goal in this game. And they have been strong in this period. They've had 16 against the Wings. Shel Samuelsson, shoot it back, was deflected. Mike Stapleton after it to Dave Tippett. This reminds me a lot of the old Montreal teams that just kept coming at you to the very last second of play. They just would not stop. And the Penguins are in that mode right now. And that is a sign of a championship team. They just do not let up at all. They have survived this 5-5 tie going to the third. 8 seconds left. The Red Wings drive it in. The Penguins win here tonight, and they have upped their unbeaten record to 8 games now, and a tremendous performance again. Tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins explode for their biggest goal output of the year as they defeat the Detroit Red Wings 9-6 here at the Civic Arena. And the Pens remain unbeaten on the season, and they win their 5th game at home with a tie, and they'll go to the road for 4. Final score again, 9-6 Pens on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We were on our way home for a Thanksgiving vacation, and this 18-wheeler passed us, and I saw the trailer begin to sway, and I said he's going to lose it, and he did. It crashed, and spun out, and crashed again.
With the Dodge minivan, we totaled our vehicle, but we didn't lose a child.
With over 3 million sold, our minivans have been a part of more lives than all other minivans combined.
Look out, Pittsburgh. Fast-paced, slam-dunking NBA action returns to the Civic Arena when Cameron Coca-Cola presents the Cleveland Cavaliers against the New Jersey Nets Monday, October 26th at 7:30. Don't miss Mark Price and Brad Doherty of the Cavs as they battle Coach Chuck Daly and Derek Coleman of the Nets. It's preseason NBA action. Tickets on sale at the Civic Arena box office. All choice seat locations, or to chart by phone, call 333-SEAT.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember at a time like this, when it's very cold and you've got to get going. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Real adventure. The Discovery Channel. It's your world.
From Channel 11 News, the station with more news more often, this is a KBL News Update.
I'm Margaret Shortridge. If you are a parent, there's probably a chance you've heard your child say, I don't have any homework tonight. Well, one school is trying to make sure your child is not pulling the wool over your eyes. Find out at 11. Meantime, a hostage situation is unfolding at this hour. Witnesses in New Kensington say the police have surrounded a house in the Mount Vernon section. We'll have the details tonight at 11.
The Iron Man of the game is brought to you by the Pittsburgh Brewing Company. It's a Berg thing. Sean McEachran will be our Iron Man of the game as he poked in 2 goals 8 seconds apart. And the young rookie having himself a great start this season. The first of 2 on the night for Sean McEachran. Lemieux with a 5.9, the hat trick for Mario. Yager and Rick Tucker with 2 goals apiece. Yager finishes with 4 points. Lemieux with 5 on the evening. Lemieux now has 27 points in the first 8 games for the Pens. And the Pens, again, very powerful on the power play tonight against the Wings. 3 for 4. They were successful against Vancouver, too. Penguins are now 6-0-2 on the young season as they prepare for a 4-game road trip that'll start on Saturday night against the New Jersey Devils. 16,164 saw this one here tonight. A reminder to you, Saturday's game will be on our Penguin Radio Network. On the TV side, we will be on Doug, and on what on the TV side? Yeah, that's it, on the KBL Sports Network. Okay, we'll have it for you at 7:30 and also on the Penguin Radio Network. On the radio side here, our overtime show will be coming up. If you're leaving us now, thanks for being on board. And the final score again, the Penguins 9 and Detroit 6 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey was sponsored by the Pittsburgh Brewing Company. It's a Berg thing. By Mellon Bank, you're why we do our very best. By Dodge, for a great deal, see your nearby Dodge dealer. By Diet Pepsi, chill out with Diet Pepsi and the Penguin. Diet Pepsi. You got the right one, baby. Uh-huh. By Giant Eagle, where there's a lot you can feel good about. By Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. And by Ladbrokes Off-Track Racing, wagering and dining facilities in Newcastle, Greensburg, Armour Township, and Johnstown. We're the fast track to excitement. The executive producer of Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is Bill Strong. This game has been produced and directed by Doug Kennedy. Remote facilities supplied by Unitel Mobile Video. This has been a PHA Sports presentation.
Tonight's Save of the Game is brought to you by America's Place to Go Fish. Go fish at Long John Silver's. Well, tonight, Tom Barrasso giving up 5 second-period goals, but tough, particularly in the third period. Steve Yzerman with a good opportunity in against him, and he stopped him cold right in front. It squirted free away from him, but a big stop by Tommy, particularly in that third period. The check of the game is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth. Get the advantage. See your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer now. And a big booming check by Kevin Stevens on Vladimir Konstantinov. They came in matched up, and Stevens caught him out of the corner of his eye and just shouldered him and flattened him back. And Konstantinov took a heavy hit there on the check of the game, ushered in by the big bear himself, Kevin Stevens. And our Giant Eagle contest, Lorraine Demarest of Monroeville is going to be singing the good times. She will win 4 $50 gift certificates from Giant Eagle, as the Penguins scored 4 times in that third period. So $200 total to Lorraine Demarest. I'll tell you, the way it's going for the Pens, and early this year, everybody in Pittsburgh is going to be eating free. So stop on by and see Lorraine. Have a little dinner with her. Stan Savern's Hockey Hotline is coming up next with Guy Junker. Penguins win 9-6.
Now it's time for the Alka-Seltzer Plus Minus Award Update. When you got a cold and you got to get relief, you got to get Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. The Flyers' Kevin Dineen off to a quick start. Dineen, sidled up to by Ellenuk. Dineen got it back again to the slot. A shot, he scores! The ever-hustling Kevin Dineen is atop the early season leaderboard in pursuit of the Alka-Seltzer Plus Minus Award.
Here's where Alka-Seltzer Plus fights tough colds, with tough congestion, tough aches, tough sore throat.
This is why you need a tough medicine, Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. The leading cold pill only relieves congestion, but Alka-Seltzer Plus relieves congestion, sore throat, headache, body aches. That's tough medicine.
You bet it's tough.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. It's tough medicine. For a cold with a cough, try Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Medicine.
If you don't want your car or truck to be stolen, do what over 220,000 police officers from across the country suggest. Use the club. I'm Officer Jack Cleric, here to inform you about the device the National Fraternal Order of Police recommends you use to protect your vehicle against theft, the club. The club is an easy-to-use, tough-to-defeat, guaranteed anti-theft device used to protect your car or truck. The club attaches easily to the steering wheel and prevents your vehicle from being stolen.
Equally effective in preventing theft, the club is now available in 4 bright designer colors, each backed by the maker's $500 guarantee. I'm Officer Lisa Hale, asking you to select the original club or the new designer club to make sure the anti-theft device you buy says the club on the handle.
When it comes to quality, guaranteed anti-theft protection for your car or truck, there's only one name you need to know, the club. Avoid cheap imitations. Ask for the club by name.
The Club, now available at most stores.
Cars are a big investment, so when your car is damaged, you want to take it to someone who can fix it right. Wildwood Collision guarantees the highest quality repairs with a 100% written warranty on all work. Wildwood Collision is a full-service auto body center with complete collision service, frame repairs, auto glass replacement, and rental cars. Wildwood Collision honors all insurance claims and provides you with free estimates on all work. Wildwood Collision, Route 8, south of the Turnpike in Gibsonia.
Experience Germany at the Kleiner Deutschmann restaurant in Springdale. Savor our hearty cuisine, prepared in the tradition of Europe's finest restaurants. Our beautiful dining room has been authentically decorated to recreate a warm, old-world German atmosphere. Our delicious cakes and strudels are made fresh daily for your enjoyment. The Kleiner Deutschmann restaurant in Springdale, created in the tradition of Germany's finest restaurants. Open Monday through Saturday, closed Sundays. For reservations, phone 274-5022.
Italian food.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Hockey Hotline on KBL. The numbers to call, 333-4014. Outside the Pittsburgh area, 1-800-932-6437. The Penguins remain unbeaten. The best start ever for the Penguins, 6-0-2, with a 9-6 win over the Detroit Red Wings here at the Civic Arena. Welcome back to the arena. I'm Stan Savran along with Guy Junker. And at the end of the first period, Pittsburgh Press hockey writer Dave Molinari ambled over to me and Guy and said, what they are doing to good teams is just sick. And it is, the way they turned it on the third period after a bit of a sloppy defensive performance in the second.
Yeah, good teams is right, and Detroit proved they were a good team with a great second period comeback, although without a doubt was the Penguins' worst period of the year, and this just shows you what a great team they are. They were coming into this game the second best defensive team in the league, giving up less than 3 goals per game, and Tom Barrasso was beaten 5 times in one period, yet they don't crack. They come back with a strong third period. Early domination has been a big key for the Penguins this year. Their first 8 games, they've scored the first goal 6 times in those 8 games, and they have outscored the other team now in the first period 19-6. So they're setting the tone early on that they are a force to be reckoned with. And the goal judge at the south end of the building is going to call off sick tomorrow because 12 of the 15 goals in the game were scored into that net. People sitting at the other end should get a partial refund or something.
Well, the wind was blowing that way and behind their back. And the guys who were slinging hamburgers at that 7-goal thing, they may want to get out of this promotion. As Guy mentioned, the Penguins had a big lead, 3-0 as a matter of fact. And then the Red Wings came back to tie eventually at 5-5, end of 2. But Rick Tocchet scored to make it 6-5. And then the point at which the game turned around. Sean McEachern, who's had some difficulty finding the net, although he's had plenty of opportunities, including tonight, hit the second fastest turnaround goal scoring in Penguin history. It's a 6-5 hockey game. Jim Pack, the Jaromir Jagr, the rebound off Cheveldae, and there is McEachern with the goal. That made it 7-5. 8 seconds later, the Penguins win the faceoff at center ice, naturally, and within 6 seconds, they score again, and it is McEachern who scores again. Jagr weaving his way through, and the crowd had barely settled down. As a matter of fact, the announcer, John Barbaro, was still announcing the first goal and had to be interrupted when that came through. At that point, 8-5, Mario gets an empty netter, and it's lights out. 9-6, the biggest scoring explosion this year.
There's a guy who couldn't buy 2 goals in a week last year in the spring, coming here after the Olympics, and with a lot of opportunities and a great skater, but perhaps just not quite comfortable with the NHL experience until the playoffs. Had a couple of big goals in the playoffs, and tonight exploding. And as Stan said, he had 3 good chances earlier in the game tonight and didn't finish, but then he gets 2 goals in 8 seconds. If you think that's a record, the fastest 2 goals ever scored by a Penguin came also against the Detroit Red Wings. Wally Boyer scored twice for the Penguins back in 1970 against Detroit, and he did it in 7 seconds. So Wally might have had a step faster than Sean McEachern.
It's Hall of Fame night. It's only fitting that an older guy gets Kiwa's record, and I think that Scotty Bowman should have them work on that back-to-back goal scoring and get it down to 7 seconds. It's something to shoot for. What else you got going? One other item before we go to our phone callers tonight on Hockey Hotline. We talk about the importance of special teams. The Penguins, 3 out of 4 on the power play. They're converting at a 35% rate. That is by far and away leading the NHL. Penalty killing slipped a bit tonight, but still, the Pens have killed off 86% penalties. You'll take that all year long. All right.
Oh, sorry, penalty killing only slipped in the second period. It was good in the first and third.
Yeah.
But you talk about the power play, 8 for 16 over the last 3 games now. I think they'll take 50% for the year.
And there's an item we get in the stats here that says the last time something happened. Well, I happen to look. The last time a Penguin had a 5-point game, well, that was 2 games ago. And the time before that, that was the game before that. So from now on, they're probably going to say the last time a 5-point game, Mario, last game, his 3rd 5-point night of the season.
How about the last time they've lost a game in the Civic Arena? Try February 27th last year, They're now 14-0-1 since that point, not counting playoffs.
Not counting the playoffs. All right, time to hear what you have to think, what you have to say. 333-4014, 1-800-932-6437. We'll be back on Hockey Hotline in just a moment.
Hockey Hotline is brought to you in part by Stroh's and Stroh's Light. It's not just any beer, it's Stroh's. And by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. And by Sears Die Hard, more power when you need it most. And by your Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Hi, it's me, Tom Barrasso, for your Lincoln Mercury Penguin Power team. With another championship behind us, I figured I could drive any car I wanted. I chose the Lincoln Town Car. There's a powerful, fuel-efficient V8 engine, plenty of luxury room, ride, and comfort. And of course, standard dual airbags and ABS brakes. And above all else, a style that says you've arrived. After all, I am goal-oriented.
See your Pittsburgh area Lincoln Mercury dealer today. Penguin Power.
Real adventure. The Discovery Channel. It's your world.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's important to remember at a time like this, when it's very dark and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature...
When Cellular One set out to build a superior cellular phone network, the landscape threw us some curves. So we designed a system so powerful, so well planned, you get extraordinary clarity in the country and in the city. Cellular One, a superior cellular network represented by a superior agent network. Advanced Telecom, now offering demo phones at no hardware cost. Free phones from Advanced Telecom on the Cellular One network. Advanced Telecom, Cellular One's Agent of the Year.
Hello, I'm Dewey from Dewey's Auto Body. I would like to invite old and new friends to try our services. We touch up scratches, repair wrecks, and refinish complete cars. We offer towing, estimates, consultation, and written warranty at no charge. A free replacement car is often available. Our staff is trained and dedicated to turn your unhappy situation into a pleasant experience. Give us an opportunity and discover that for over 30 years, integrity, quality, and personal care still exists at Dewey's Auto Body.
Welcome back to the Civic Arena, where tonight the Penguins up their record to 6-0-2, unbeaten after 8 games. Let's go right to the phone lines. Dr. Dave from Mount Lebanon. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Stan. How you guys doing?
Good,
Dave.
One comment, then 2 questions real quick. First of all, is Larry Murphy the best guy you've ever seen at keeping the puck in at the blue line? At least in the Penguin uniform, it's my opinion.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And then two questions here. First of all, reading the Penguin report, I noticed that last year, Craig Patrick was tempted to make a trade for Jamie Leach, and I was wondering if you had any insight on who that may be. And then the second question was also concerning the Penguin report. Tom McMillan had mentioned that there were 2 people, or a bunch of people left on the waiver wire that weren't picked up, and 2 of the names that caught my attention were Dave Capano and Brad Aiken. And if you can answer those questions, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. There was rumor last year, matter of fact, there was one rumor that came out that the deal had already been done, that Jamie Leach had been traded to Vancouver. Nothing could have been further from the truth. I'm sure that they talked about him because Leach, as you remember, went to Patrick and said, I'm not happy, I'm not getting any playing time, we'll see what you can do. And there was a report circulating that the deal was done, but not the case. And of course, Leach had the broken jaw, and that pretty much ended that.
Sure.
I'm disappointed with Jamie Leach this year in that I thought this was going to be the time for him to come forward. Joey Mullen's going to come back probably around the 1st of November. When he does, that may just seal the fact that there's no room in the lineup for Jamie Leach. Did not produce in the games that he dressed. Now, for the 3rd straight game tonight, he was a scratch. Jay Caulfield instead dressing tonight. Well, maybe against Detroit you want to have a guy like that if Probert starts acting up. In fact, Caulfield's only shift tonight was directly against Probert. But I was hoping Leach would be able to come to the forefront and prove himself a little bit while Joey Mullen was out, so that he becomes a factor. But
yeah, but I think Needham's passed him up on the depth chart already.
I think you're right.
Yep, he certainly has. Even though he's playing on the 4th line, and they're mixing and matching that particular line with Stapleton and Daniels and that group there. But you know, it's clear that he's not been able to make his way.
And what about the second question?
I've just got to believe that this organization is now so talent-laden, plus they still haven't had the opportunity to play Straka, and Naslund will be here next year.
Sure.
That guys like Capuano and Aitken, who have had opportunities in training camps, I just think, you know, it's being at the wrong place, the wrong time. I mean, you know, 10 years ago, those guys had already been playing in the National Hockey League.
Exactly. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, Dave, thanks for
ago,
calling.
that would have been the big end of October story. Oh, well, Dave Capuano's coming up from, at that time, Baltimore or whatever, and he's going to turn things around here.
Jim Magoo missed the bus, so we're bringing up Dave Capuano instead. Todd from Shaler. Hi, Todd.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good.
Okay, I've got two quick questions for you. The first one is, who does hold the record for the fastest 2 goals?
Wally Boyer.
Okay. And secondly, and this has to do with Sean McEachern, I'm not too familiar with rookie qualifications, but does he qualify as a rookie this year, and why, if he does?
I'm not exactly sure how many games you have to play in the National Hockey League to officially become a first-year player. McEachern came up after the Olympics, so we're talking about, what, mid-March? I don't know if the playoffs count or not, Guy. I honestly, Todd, don't know the exact answer to that question.
Well, here's his first goal tonight. Credit Jim Pack a lot on this goal, too, by the way. Sean McEachern is a rookie this year. I just checked. There's an asterisk beside his name. Playoffs do not count, but I'm not sure what the cutoff point is as far as how many games you have to appear in. But he is still a rookie this year. So I was saying they're packed not only with the original shot there, but then coming in and clogging up in front, taking a defenseman down with him before he put the rebound in. So, yes, he could be Rookie of the Year this year.
Well, I'm looking for a good year from the rest of the season.
Okay, thanks very much, Todd. Yeah, and that play, Pat got cross-checked from behind. A penalty should have been called, actually, but got the goal anyway. You'll take that. Greg from Baldwin. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
How you doing?
All right. I'd like to say congratulations to the team, but also to Sean McEachern. I was so improved with him just at the end of last year. I thought that he was going to be such a great player for us, and here he's off to such a great start.
I wasn't impressed with him last year. As a matter of fact, I thought you mentioned Jim Magoo a minute ago. I was hoping he wasn't going to become another Jim Magoo, skates all over the ice and can't finish, and I was even thinking about that a little bit tonight. He had 3 good opportunities, especially once the game was tied 5-5, but he's coming around. Now, you liken his situation to Jamie Leach's, the times that Leach has gotten in there and had a chance to perform. Not that he's getting a lot of time. I mean, when you're facing a lineup like this year, you've got to make the most of the opportunity that you have. McEachern started to come around in the playoffs last year. I certainly hope he proves me wrong, but I was not impressed with him last year.
But the difference is, though, with McEachern is last year he didn't score, but they didn't get him to score. Obviously, it's nice, especially if you're going to play him on the number 2 line with Francis and Yager. I mean, he's going to have to convert because Francis is one of the best playmakers in the National Hockey League. But what they wanted him to do is skate. He gave him speed last year, and with Bork on, he now gives him that kind of speed up and down a wing. And in addition to that, Bowman uses him a penalty kill. So any scoring he does is a bonus. But Guy's right. I mean, there comes a point when you've got that kind of open net, you've got to help your hacky club. And when he hit that backhander against the Rangers, it looked like the floodgates opened. I think Guy, it really wasn't a matter of talent with him, just a matter of him relaxing. And on the one hand, you might say it's easy to come into a team like this because, I mean, everybody around you is Babe Ruth. On the other hand, I would imagine you'd feel intimidated looking around and seeing who you're playing with.
2 other things, too. He came here. The schedule for the Olympic team, not only during the time that they were playing in the Olympics, but maybe even more so before the Olympics, is unbelievably grueling. I think he was a little bit worn out when he came here and a little bit down. The Olympic team had a golden chance to get some kind of medal last year and really blew it after being in an exciting start. He came here in the middle of all the Stanley Cup excitement, and they make the big trade and everything, and I think it was just hard to fit in right away. The other thing is, in addition to thinking that he was a little bit tired after the Olympic experience, he looks to me like he's bulked up some this year. He looks bigger in the shoulders, bigger, and I don't think he's getting pushed around as much. Speed's great, but if guys are knocking you off your skates, it doesn't help, and I just think, the confidence and everything else just all is added in there as to why he's having a better start right now.
Guaranteed, John Will, they had him on an off-season strength and conditioning program, no doubt about that.
Think he could help us?
No, we're beyond help. Just, send us another sandwich. That's all we need. Okay?
One more comment.
Sure.
This is for Mike Lang. If you guys could just copy this down. It's another quote. You can shake my tree, but leave my peaches be. I think that's a good quote.
Shake my tree, but leave my pigeon be.
Peaches.
Oh, Peaches B. All right, we'll pass it along. Although he's pretty secretive about those things, he comes up with them in the middle of the night. He wears a long black robe, and he has this huge cauldron, and he takes a broomstick, and he stirs it around, and they come out of there. But we'll pass it along, Greg.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
the Penguins, in case you joined us late, ripped the Detroit Red Wings 9-6. This was supposed to be the week that was. Well, they have steamrollered both Vancouver and Detroit, and head into New Jersey Saturday night, a game you'll see here on KBL. The numbers to call, 333-4014, 1-800-932.